Wednesday edition. The best day of the week edition. Because it's the Bryan Bulaga and Uncle Homer edition. I'm going to have to work through with Homer what the meaning of the word decoy is, though, after my appearance last night with him and John Anderson on the Homer Hour edition. The Keyshawn is putting on the full court press. Will it work edition. And the, I think maybe, I'm not saying that I'm trying to play a role either. That would be an overstatement. But I'd be lying if I said I didn't want Davante Adams on the 2025 Green Bay Packers edition of Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, 100.5 ESPN Madison, 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam, ESPNWisconsin.com, the ESPN app, your Alexa smart speaker, streaming live video, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and, of course, everything you need on WisconsinOnDemand.com and the Wisconsin On Demand app. I'm Jason Wilde in Green Bay. Jesse Nelson is in the Everlight Solar ESPN Madison studios. Did you get a haircut?
No.
You just took a shower?
Yes.
It's a good idea. I'll try that one of these days before the show. And from his undisclosed location, he is the Packers Hall of Famer. He is Mark Tauscher. Tausch, good morning. How are you?
Good, buddy. How are you?
I am I'm very, 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 very good. I'm in a great mood.
Good.
So I can't wait for you to ruin it. Keyshawn Nixon.
Wow. It's not very nice.
It
Whatever.
was just a joke. See, it's already starting.
Was it?
It was. There's a little truth to every joke, as you well know. I know my day started with a text message from Gina Della with a new deal that we've got going at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. And booth information, so I know you're excited to share that coming up. Just like Keyshawn Nixon is excited about recreating the Las Vegas Raiders in Green Bay, although he never actually played with Davante Adams. He is recruiting him. And Maxx Crosby, who he did play with. Tausch, did you ever do any recruiting as a player during your time?
No. I didn't. I never did. I was fortunate, I think. Who am I going to go and recruit, Jason? I guess that would be the question I'm asking.
Chris McIntosh, when he hit free agency. I don't know.
He jacked his neck up and was unable to play, so that probably wasn't going to be a great
Aaron Gibson when the Bears moved on from him.
I think when you're looking at this, there's guys that have – you probably need to be a pretty big star and have great relationships with guys that are out working out in different spots, et cetera, et cetera. That was not where I was at. So, no, I did not do any recruiting, and I don't know if it would have mattered if I did do a ton of recruiting.
So is Keyshawn Nixon at a level where he could do recruiting? I mean, he has proclaimed himself CB1.
He's an all-pro. He was an all-pro, so I would say, yeah, I think he probably did. Listen, man, most players they want to be good. They want the team to be good. But when it comes to all that, you can dabble, and I think Jordan Love, I thought, had a really funny exchange with Micah Parsons the other day about, why don't you come to Green Bay? That's more when you're doing – it's just a different era, man. There's so much more information free-flowing than when I played or when guys before me played. It's just a whole different animal.
Well, he is doing his best. If you only get to have one, do you want Davante or do you want Maxx Crosby?
Maxx Crosby. Maxx.
Why?
What is going on here?
You tell me, short answer Johnson.
Well, I mean, I would prefer Maxx Crosby because he's younger. I think he has an opportunity to come in and be completely. I think both guys. The problem with that question is both things aren't equal. There's going to be a much more prohibitive cost when it comes to Maxx Crosby than there would be if it was with Davante. So you're going to put more in, and I think Maxx Crosby's younger. He has potential to really take this defense to the next level, where I think Davante, he's going to be your number one if he comes in, but it won't be that same gap. But impact-wise, I think off the field, he'd probably even make more of an impact. I think Maxx would make more on the field, and I think Davante would do more off the field. So I'm kind of torn on it. I don't have like a boom, boom answer.
Almost as if it's a good question then, huh?
Well, I answered it, and then you just sat there like a turd. Like, jump in and explain what you want. I mean, I think I didn't know this question was coming. I think when I look at it, Maxx is the easy answer because I think, look at what he did with Las Vegas. Look at what he's been able to do. And I think our group, if you want to look at it, which group is more – I think what you're asking here is which group needs more of a talent infusion than any other group. And the answer is defensive line and wide receiver. How you want to go about doing that is a whole nother layer to this conversation. But, well, yeah, what are you saying for? Yeah, it's a good question. And what, you want me to give you a 25-minute diatribe? I don't have it yet because I'm trying to sort through my thoughts on it. But initially, my first answer is Maxx Crosby.
Maxx Crosby would definitely cost more, although I don't know what Davante Adams will cost. He certainly will not cost $35 million like the base salary he's scheduled to receive this year. But what is the number from a contract perspective that he will cost? I don't know the answer to that. I also don't know if Goody has any interest in actually bringing him back. We know that Davante is open to the idea. We also know that he has been dropping not so subtle hints, whether it's with his shoes or what he says to Kay Adams on Up and Adams. So we know that there is at least some measure of interest. Now, I would also argue that there are other teams that I would think would be interested in him and other teams that he might be interested in, right? I mean, at least part of the equation we were told was that he wanted to get closer to home, and Las Vegas was as close as he could get, and he could play with his college quarterback. There's two teams in L.A. There's a team in San Francisco/Santa Clara that is moving on from Deebo Samuel, apparently. So those are three teams that would also, you would think, be in the mix, and I think Jeremy Fowler mentioned that from the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but in the same breath, he just decided to get traded to New York. He pushed, and I think wanted that. So that's why I always, whenever somebody's like, I really want to go home, I want to do this, yeah, until you don't. Until it doesn't fit. So I see all the same reports. Oh, Davante wants to go back out west. Yeah, I think in a perfect world. Last time I checked, we don't live in a perfect world. So
no, we don't.
This, to me, is the perfect scenario for Davante, and that's why I've been pushing for it, because he isn't washed. He still has a lot to give. And very rarely in life can you right a wrong. He made a wrong decision. And I don't blame him for doing it. I think he chose wrongly. He bet on Derek Carr like Jesse did, and it didn't work. Derek Carr ain't even there. Davante was stuck there in a spot where it just didn't work out, and he didn't think Jordan Love, or didn't know that Jordan Love had an opportunity to become a really good NFL quarterback. So I think part of his deal was he wanted to win a championship. Certainly isn't closer to that when he left. And he wants to be a Hall of Famer by continuing to put stats up and do that. And I think he's going to be a Hall of Famer. But he can do what Charles Woodson did. Whereas you actually do go home again. He didn't make that big mark that Charles did in his second stop. But he can come back and do the same type of deal that Charles did with the Oakland Raiders at the time. And kind of right a wrong in his own mind. So many times in life you make decisions and you live with them and then you grow from them, but you don't ever really get to rectify them. This could be a total rectification case in Davante's situation. So when you asked that question earlier, Maxx Crosby's the guy I'd want first just because he's younger and I think can be more impactful. But from a storyline and from also, I don't want to poo-poo it and say it's more about the off-the-field stuff that he could help, because I do think that would be hugely impactful. I believe if he came here, he'd be the number one wideout and have the most catches on this team next season. I think he'd have the most touchdowns on this team next season, outside of Tucker Kraft. And if you combine all of that, I think I'm talking myself into, because I understand the cost difference, I think I'm going to talk myself into Davante over Maxx Crosby.
When you say right or wrong, does that go both ways? Because
no. Green Bay didn't do it wrong. Green Bay nailed it. They got they got a first and a second round pick?
They did.
That was the year Alan Lazard was the one, right?
Yeah, that's also true in Aaron Rodgers' final season in Green Bay. And during those first two seasons in Joe Barry's defense, neither the first-round picks had a grand impact for them. And I believe the second-round pick was utilized to move up to take Christian Watson, who, in theory, could have become the number one wide receiver. That has not occurred. But Goody also had the opportunity to sign him to an extension before the 21 season and didn't. And as I went back in my archives as I was writing my story for the State Journal yesterday, it is interesting to go back and read some of the things that Goody said at the time, including when he was asked if he had any reservations about Adams being ready to turn 30 during the 2022 season. Obviously, we do a lot of studies on those metrics and different things. One of the things we look at specifically is for guys who are Hall of Fame caliber players, I think there's a lot of production into their 30s. But at the same time, it's like anything, there's risk either way. There's a lot of risk if we don't have Davante Adams and what that does to our football team as well. 2022 was a wasted season in Aaron Rodgers' final year. They have not had in their 2 years or 3 years since he left a number one wide receiver emerge. So maybe it wasn't the right decision after all. Is that possible?
No. I understand. I mean, do you think Davante and Aaron Rodgers win a championship? What year was that, 2022? When it was Alan Lazard and Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs? I don't think so. And then you're sitting here and you end up getting nothing for Davante. Now, what that
what do you mean you get nothing for Davante? You have him on your team. You extended him before the 21 season, and he's under contract.
I just asked you, do you think they would have won a championship in 2022 with Davante?
I don't know. Would the Packers have been winning in London if they had Davante Adams on the team and Aaron Rodgers doesn't have to throw a Hail Mary that he breaks his thumb on?
Can only play the results, brother, when you look at this, and the results tell you that they would not have. That's just what it does. And you could say, well, this would have been different, this would have been different. You made a decision when you decided not to pay him that summer. You were going to alienate, and you knew that that was probably the way. Now, the conspiracy theorist will say, well, maybe this was all part of the plan because you wanted to move forward with Jordan Love, and if you kept Davante, maybe they have a better season. I don't buy that, but I have heard people say that. You ended up getting 2 picks, Christian Watson, and what else did Davante's trade turn into? What were the other picks? I think they traded one and got 2 more picks. And
right, they got a first and a second.
Get for that?
They got a first and a second. So yeah. The first was, I believe, Quay Walker, because their pick would have been the 29th pick, which they used on Davante Wyatt, and then they used the extra second-round pick to move up to the top of the second round. I believe they traded theirs and the Raiders to go up to 34 to take Watson in the trade with the Vikings. I'll fact-check that, but I believe that's the case.
So do you believe that the Packers screwed the pooch and should not have?
No, I'm saying if we're going to say that it's a chance for Davante Adams to right the wrong, I think you can argue on the other side of it that it's also a chance for Goody to right the wrong. Like, I don't think they haven't won a title with the picks they acquired either. If we're going to say, well, we have to play the results, I was told. If we're going to say that, then the 22 season did not result in a championship. If Davante Adams is on the team, does it result in a championship? I don't know. But the 23 and 24 seasons also did not result in a championship with the players that were acquired in the trade. And now two of them, the first-round picks that they have, are going to get fifth-year options, and we are eager to see if in this new system they become the players that the Packers hoped they would be when they were both drafted, because for their first two seasons, they were not. And then Christian Watson, who was acquired for the Packers' second-round pick and the Raiders' second-round pick, so it's not like they got an extra player out of that deal, is facing a long, arduous road back to being on the field. And we don't know what his career will play out as going forward, including him not being back till November.
It's interesting you asked that question because I have not even looked at it. I have put the bludgeoner down, that it was all Bludgeon City, and it does make you pause because there is no doubt Davante, in hindsight, he will not say this, I don't believe, unless he comes back to Green Bay. He guessed wrong. And sometimes, they say bet on yourself and they all these things, and it's great when it works out. But it doesn't mean it's always going to work out. And I think we as Packer fans have looked at this as saying the Packers won that trade. Is it possible nobody won that trade? Is it possible to look, because if indeed I had said, and I don't remember the word I used, Jesse, redemption or whatever the word I used twice, with Davante coming home and kind of redoing a wrong. I have not looked at it as if the Pack, because typically you get rid of players at 28, 29, 30. The Green Bay Packers have done that a lot and are going to do that more, and they have been right many more times than they've been wrong. Is it possible in this instance? You know how the Lions and Rams would both look at the Stafford Goff trade as win-win? Is it possible that this is one of the rare lose-lose trades in the recent history of the NFL, because nobody got what they wanted out of it? I think it's a fair question.
I know this. Everyone is a winner with the great deals that Gina texted us this morning that Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin have going as they head into the NARI Home/Hope show.
Yeah, remodeling done right. The NARI Home Improvement Show. It's coming up. It's going to be right on Valentine's, the 14th through the 16th. There's never been a better time to experience Pella in person. Get all of your questions answered again. That's this weekend at the NARI Spring Home Improvement Show. You can get windows as low as $22 per month and doors as low as $89 per month. You can rest easy with Pella's 10-year installation warranty. Book your in-home consultation at the show, and you receive a complimentary Design Works consultation and Pella Care inspection. But there's more. We have a booth number. Old booth 145, Super Bowl 45. Then you just put a 1 in front of it. It's also won the championship in the first Super Bowl. So this is really a Packer-palooza. Booth 145. Again, that's Friday the 14th all the way through the 16th. And this is something I've been with Pella for a long time now. And there have been great deals throughout the course of our relationship. Never one this big for this long of a time frame. Zero interest for an Olympics set? No. For a half a decade? No. What did LeBron do? Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5. 6 years. Zero interest. 6 years. That's 72 months. Nobody, and when I say nobody, I mean nobody does it like Pella Windows and Doors. Visit PellaWI.com today to learn more. Certain restrictions do apply.
How many 6s have there been in Packers history? Sean Clifford has now.
Who has it right now? Cliff?
Sean Clifford. He had to give up 8 for Josh Jacobs.
There was a punter that had it for a while.
J.K. Scott. Yep. Graham Harrell, I think, had it.
Okay.
I'll fact check that.
Dallin Levitt is popping up.
Oh, Dallin Levitt, yeah. He committed 2 penalties on the opening kickoff of a game, and they got cut a few days later, even though he was Rich Bisaccia's guy from Oakland, and we never heard from him again. I'm going to have to look this up because now my interest is piqued, just like the 0% 72-month offer piques everyone's interest from Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. We need to get ready for Bryan Bulaga, so we'll talk a little more about Davante Adams next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Have you been waiting to buy your next home? Stop. Now is the time to get housed. What's up, Madison? It's Stacy from Bruner Realty. Nobody has a crystal ball to know what the future holds. The longer you wait to find your next home, the better the chance you'll be paying more for it than you would be today. Don't miss out on what could be the best opportunity to find your dream home. Contact our team at BrunerRealtyInc.com to help start your search. That's BrunerRealtyInc.com. Let's get housed.
Hey, it's Riley Yauk. Stay in the know on area high school sports and follow ESPN Madison on Twitter for Prep Mania on Deck, each week's preview for the top games and events. Prep Mania on Deck is brought to you by Zimbrick Honda, a proud supporter of high school sports and local communities.
Hi, this is Lee, inviting you to Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. We got a great happy hour every day of the week from 4 o'clock to 7, and our patio during the summer is open too. If you're getting married, special occasion, a birthday, anniversary, or even a business meeting, we've got all the accommodations right here at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. You work hard and sometimes you're not sure what you want to do, where you want to spend your money. I want to encourage you to come into Ruth's Chris Steakhouse and say hello. It'd be a pleasure to meet you.
Steinhaffel's President's Day sale is happening now. Find great deals on amazing bonus buys throughout the entire store. Then take an extra $100 off every $17.99 you spend. Plus, get a $100 MasterCard for every $17.99 you spend. See store for details. Or make your new room more affordable with Steinhaffel's 36-month 0% financing. Get in today because these deals won't last long. Shop in-store or online at steinhaffels.com.
Mark Tosher here. It's now Valentine's Day approaching, and I don't have to sweat it this time around. I've gone to see the team at Chalmers Jewelers, and it has made my gift-giving that much better. They travel all over the world to find the best ethically sourced diamonds available and hire the best custom jewelers around. Valentine's Day gifts, engagement rings, custom jewelry, watches, and accessories. Chalmers Jewelers, where custom costs less.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison.
Get your Pop-A-Shot on and compete to be the Bud Light Mini Hoops Mania champion. Hey, it's Ben Brust inviting you to Bud Light's Mini Hoops Mania in Madison. A trip to Vegas during the best time of the basketball year is on the line. On February 22nd, head to the College Club from 8:30 to 9:30 p.m. or Red Rock from 10 to 11 p.m. to compete in the first round of Mini Hoops Mania. Go all the way and have a chance to win $10,000 in Vegas. It's Bud Light's Mini Hoops Mania. Must be 21 years or older to play. Also enjoy responsibly at Wando's and Jordan's Big Ten Pub. Free Food Friday on ESPN Madison is brought to you by Pizza Hut. Want your own Free Food Friday from the Hut? Tune into Wilde and Tausch this Friday from 9 a.m. to noon for a chance to win 2 free large pizzas and 2 free orders of wings at select Pizza Hut locations. Perfect for a speedy lunch, a relaxing dinner, or anytime you're on the go. Head to pizzahut.com. That's pizzahut.com or the select Pizza Hut locations to enjoy your own free food Friday. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Searching for the perfect brunch spot this weekend? Look no further than the Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company. Every Saturday and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., indulge in the Great Dane sweet and savory brunch menu paired with mimosas, Bloody Marys, or one of their signature beers on tap. Enjoy at any of their 4 Madison area pubs, downtown, Hilldale, Fitchburg, or East Madison. Learn more and view the full menu at greatdanepub.com/brunch. Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company, Madison's original brew pub since 1994.
Experience, knowledge, and results. That's what you need when you've been in a serious truck accident. Call Gruber Law Offices. We've successfully helped people injured by big trucks for more than 35 years. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Watch every ESPN Madison show live every day. Subscribe to ESPN Madison on YouTube for live video of every show and exclusive content. Just search ESPN Madison.
Some spirited discussion among the YouTube roundtable, which John in the YouTube comments has asked for us to refer to them as opposed to the YouTube dwellers.
Really?
Because there's a lot of smart conversation going on in there. And some douchey conversation, frankly, as well.
Didn't someone once say you can't assign yourself your own nickname? At IPT.
I feel like did I just have this conversation with John Anderson yesterday? I think I did. Or was it on this show? I don't remember, but we literally, I had this conversation yesterday. I would agree you're not supposed to give yourself a nickname, but he is not nicknaming himself. He's giving the group a title. Just because you don't like them and you don't appreciate what they add to the show, Jesse, doesn't mean that it's inappropriate for him to call themselves the YouTube Roundtable.
I'd like all of our ESPN Madison producers to now be known as the Super Squad.
I'm fine with that. I know there's some super producers on that squad.
Me and Primetime Wollersheim and Hunter Vaughn and the whole crew. Yep.
I don't know about the leader of that group.
Super Squad.
Yeah, who's stopping you from doing that? If that's what you want to do, do it.
Pablo.
Super Squad.
It's catchy. Speaking of super squads, Cam in the YouTube roundtable, Tausch crushing this sale. So very positive feedback already on the Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin sale that we unveiled this morning. All right.
How much different, Jason, how much different is it if Davante Adams gets a contract extension in 2022? Is Jordan Love the quarterback of the Green Bay Packers?
Yes.
Okay.
I think they move on from Rodgers regardless. I think if Davante Adams signs his extension before the 21 season, you then have set up where you can still draft, whether it's Romeo Doubs or Jaden Reed, or because Ted kept drafting wide receivers even when he had good wide receivers, right? Think back to 2008 when they drafted Jordy in the second round. We were all like, why are they drafting another wide receiver? Then they draft Randall Cobb in 11. Then they draft Davante in 14. High day 2 picks. I would say this. It would have given them the opportunity to continue the process of segueing from one number one to another. And while it works for quarterbacks, it could also work for wide receivers. And that is where I think you could right the wrong here, because you would buy time. And I did a story on this. I went and looked it up last season in 2023 about how all those young guys loved watching film of Davante as they learned the offense as rookies and second-year players. he would be outstanding for them, just like Jordy was and Randall Cobb were for him. And then if you sign him to a 2-year deal and then you let him go on his merry way, he has set the stage for Jaden Reed to have developed and grown into a number one, or Dontavion Wicks to do it. Look, do I like Davante Adams? Absolutely. Do I want him back for selfish purposes? Absolutely. This is not the same as saying that Jordy Nelson, which was my argument, deserved one more year with the Packers and then he was ready to retire, which is what he wanted to do in 2018, which is why he was willing to take the 1-year, $2 million deal he was offered until both Davante and Aaron Rodgers said, that is insulting, you cannot do that. And then he got $7 million from the Raiders, which is more than 3 times what the offer was. He wanted to end his career in Green Bay. My issue with that all along was you could have given him 2018. It wouldn't have impeded the growth by Davante Adams. Who knows if it would have saved Mike McCarthy's job if we want to play the what-if game. Probably not. But the bottom line is it wasn't like he was going to be here for 3 more years. He wanted 1 more year with Rodgers. This is different. Davante is not at the same point in his career as Jordy Nelson was in 2018. He's not. And for all the good things Goody has done, Jimmy Graham was not an upgrade over Jordy Nelson for the 2018 season. He just wasn't. So this would not, in my opinion, be a mistake, but I am open to you saying, Jason, you're too biased. You like Davante too much, so I'm going to ignore your opinion. Fine.
I'm not going to do that.
Not you, I meant people listening.
As a Goody stan, do I need to look at this as a big L? Whereas I have in the past looked at this as a big dub.
No, I don't think you can look at it as an L, because if Quay Walker becomes the player that we think he could become, especially alongside Edgerrin Cooper, well,
yeah.
But you would agree that he was a different player this year than he was last year.
He's better, but I'm not going to lie to you. I want to see more. I want more Edgerrin Cooper.
If those two guys are the Fred Varner and Dre Greenlaw of the Packers, and they finally managed to pull that off, then it wasn't a big L. It may have been a T.
Getting a 5th-year option?
Yes.
No doubt.
Well, and of course there's always the possibility not. But the way Goody talked about him, because of the way Goody talked about him and Wyatt, he sure as hell made it sound like it's
Aaron Jones. How he talked about Aaron Jones last year, too.
Hey, I'm not here to say that he lies. That's not me. I would never say such a thing. What I would say is it's a good time to tell us about AmFam so we can get to Bulaga.
Badger fans, American Family Insurance wants to give you and a friend a VIP experience at a football or basketball game next season. You and a friend. Pre-game sideline or courtside passes, tour of the facility, and tons of great merch to support your Badgers. Enter today at amfam.com/Badgers. No purchase is necessary. Insure carefully. Dream fearlessly.
Bryan Bulaga joins us next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
The Great Dane Huddle with Barry Alvarez.
I'd love to be in a game like that. I'd love to coach a game like that. Oh, they may not see a pass in the second half.
Subscribe to the Great Dane Huddle podcast on Wisconsin On Demand and wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, it's Jesse Nelson to tell you about Madison Weight Loss, the program that I experienced for 60 days last year, and I was able to drop 40 pounds of unnecessary, unwanted fat, and all I had to do was change up my diet. No intense workout regimens, no surgeries, no injections. The natural, healthy approach to weight loss, simply changing what you eat. I was able to find the expert coaching and guidance that I needed to be successful in my weight loss journey from the team at Madison Weight Loss. They help you track everything in an app. They provide you some feedback weekly, daily, whatever you want. It's customized to your approach that you're looking for and whatever's going to help you find the best results. If you're interested, if you started your New Year's resolution this year and you're realizing, all right, I can't find the way to this successful weight loss journey on my own, trust me, the team at Madison Weight Loss is here to help. Contact the team. Schedule a free consultation in person or virtually at MadisonWeightLoss.com. That's MadisonWeightLoss.com. It really works. The natural, healthy approach to weight loss. MadisonWeightLoss.com. Results may vary.
This is our crew.
Fly ball right field. Hit a ton. We're tied.
Milwaukee Brewers baseball is coming to ESPN Madison.
The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out.
Every pitch, every dramatic moment, every
fly ball left field. Back. Still back. It is up and gone.
Madison's new home of the Milwaukee Brewers. 100.5 ESPN.
From color-changing alexandrite to shimmering zircon and everything in between at Chalmers Jewelers, you'll find high-quality, affordable, one-of-a-kind pieces. We source straight from the gem cutters, and we manufacture in-house from start to finish. As the manufacturer, we believe in truth in pricing. Never pay more for quality and stunning, beautiful jewelry. She's one of a kind, and so should her jewelry be. While others may send your jewelry dreams to someone else to make, with us, your dreams become reality with the help of our custom jewelers, with you involved the whole way. With a staff that has over 200 years of combined experience, why buy from a place that marks up jewelry made by the thousands? When you can buy direct from Chalmers for that one-of-a-kind piece that is better quality, often for less.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison.
It started with a prediction.
We'll go out there and play basketball and win.
And how many games?
6.
It became the culture.
Chance of Bucks in 6.
Being a Bucks fan means you live and breathe Bucks in 6. Brandon Jennings created the prophecy. Tune into Behind the Bucks, the story of Brandon Jennings on the Bucks Plus audio network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and streaming wherever you get your podcasts.
That's for the culture. Ben Brust here to tell you about Zimbrick European. They're Mercedes, Audi, Porsche, and certified pre-owned. But the best part is I've been working with them since 2018, and the evolution has been a 2-door, a 4-door, and now it's time for an SUV. My life has changed, and it's changed with Zimbrick European. Being a dad has made it really important to have the comfort and the safety that the SUV will bring me. Again, Zimbrick European off the Beltline at Rimrock Road. Of course, I found the sexiest car on the lot. Check them out.
Come see Pella at the Neary Spring Home Improvement Show February 14th through the 16th. Learn about our incredible design team with an ability to customize windows to match your unique home. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin is now offering windows as low as $22 per month and doors as low as $89 per month. Rest easy with our 10-year installation warranty. Book your in-home consultation at the show and receive a complimentary Design Works consultation and a Pella Care inspection. Visit PellaWI.com. Certain restrictions apply.
ESPN Wisconsin has the players, and now we have the coach.
They better get season tickets right now because before long, they probably won't be able to.
The Great Dane Huddle with Barry Alvarez. Mondays on 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
I've got some famous friends you probably never heard of, but back in Rutherford County, our crowd is second to none. You might not know them here in this big city we're in, but when I go back home, I've got
Gotta love Wednesdays. Joining us now, as he does every Wednesday, staying longer than he agreed to because we abuse our famous friend's friendship with us. It is Bryan Bulaga on Wilde and Tausch. Bryan, good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
What is that? I ask this cautiously because I get yelled at for giving away free advertising. Is that a dog logo on your shoulder? Or is that just some fuzz? What is that? Is that a...
No, it's a rowback, like rowback hoodie. It's a, I don't know. It's the brand,
nice.
I guess. Yeah,
I like
it's
it.
comfortable.
Yeah,
it's
you
nice.
look good. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Find it at your local GNC.
Sponsored. I'm definitely not sponsored.
Yeah, Blue, what other potential partnerships do you want to get that you can promote now, and then we'll pass along to our MCs and see if we could get some. Ice cream spot. What else you got?
Nelly. You know, it would be good behind me. I got Plunge, right outside my door here. I got the cold tub. I got the Plunge box with all how I, clean it and put the chemicals in it every week. The box is behind me every show. That'd be nice for them. But no love there.
Okay.
But it's okay. It's okay. I'm all right. I'll live. I'll move on.
All right. Well, we're still working on Baskin Robbins.
Before Jason gets into asking if you're recruited guys or anything else, is it possible that both parties, because Davante has been a big storyline, he's going to end up leaving New York now that Rodgers isn't going back and the cap number. Is it possible both the Packers and Davante lost in that trade? Neither side won?
It kind of seems like it, doesn't it? I mean, if you look at it, kind of, hindsight now, like how it all played out in the end. And, I look at it from Tay's side, he goes to Vegas to play, with Carr, right? His buddy. And really after a season, Carr's gone, right? And for him, he kind of goes back to Vegas and play with his buddy, and Carr's gone, and the team struggles tremendously. And then he gets, kind of makes his way to New York to play with Aaron for half a season, and half a season Aaron's done in New York, and now he's kind of back in this limbo again. And with Green Bay, with how I'm sure there were contingencies tied to the picks, right? I don't know how exactly it worked out, but there might have been. I don't know all the details of the trade, but for Tay personally, like it just kind of, from one place to the other, and personally for him, it just didn't work out. And I feel bad for him because they obviously heck of a talent, even though he made the most out of it in Vegas. I mean, the guy still put up numbers even with whoever was throwing the ball to him at the time, still went out and made plays and did what he could. But going from one coast to the other and having it kind of play out the way it did just was unfortunate.
And what about from the Packers standpoint? Because the Packers, I think I was, and I'm a Goody stan. I think Goody is a great general manager. And I know there's plenty, Ned and some of the other Twitter folks disagree. Look at you. Look at you promoting coffee, too. Yeah, look at you, Blue. You're starting to get it. Look at you.
Oh, yeah. I had to get a coffee this morning, man. It's been an early morning week this week. So got a cup of coffee.
Donkeys.
I hear they're opening a quick trip down there.
Yeah, they should.
They should.
So, Blue, what about from the Packers standpoint? Because I have thought they got a player that was going to be 30. They traded, got a first and a second. Didn't pay him, and then all of a sudden last year you get that receiving core. Everybody's excited about Jaden Reed and Christian Watson. And now you look at it and you're thinking, we need a number one wideout. Hey, guy we had left the building, and now he's 3 years older, but we want him back. I guess, did I overinflate that Goody won that trade in a big way? Because now even I look at it and say, definitely – if anybody won, I don't think anybody won, because you lost a year of Rodgers and Davante that you missed the playoffs, and you didn't have a guy that was playing at still a really high level that could have helped these young guys grow and maybe have more growth quicker than what we've seen.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so I guess there's a couple ways to attack that, right? Like, who were the first and second round picks that you took with Davante's selection?
So the Packers selected, and by the way, Tausch right now on this is the living, breathing version of that gif of Alonzo Mourning on the Heat bench, where he's got that face where he's like this, yeah. And then it dawns on him, hey, well, wait a minute. That's what's happening right now with him on this trade. 22nd pick, 53rd pick. First round pick, 22nd pick, Quay Walker. Packers' own pick that year, obviously Devontae Wyatt. Then they package the Raiders' second round pick, which was 53, and their own, which was 59, to go up to 34 to take Christian Watson.
Okay. All right. So you kind of look at how that's panned out, and that just what they've done with those picks that they got from Tay in general, right? I think we look at Quay, his first few years, and it was questionable. I think last year he started to perform better. The injury, obviously, at the end of the year kind of derailed a lot of the progress that he had. So we'll see how he does this year and if they give him that fifth year, right? Like, I think that's the biggest question mark that we have for him. And obviously Watson, I think he's got a ton of talent. I really do. I really like what he brings. I think his size, his athleticism, like what he does is really beneficial to the offense. Just the knee injury that he suffered late in the year. I mean, Tausch, you've gone through it. I've gone through multiple of them. I just don't know. I know he can recover from it. That's not my question. The question is, when's he going to be able to come back, and how effective will he be coming back that late in the year and getting into things and being able to kind of integrate back into the team that late in the year, and where's the team going to be, right? So, that's my question when you look at these picks and kind of where Watson has been his first few years, and now here we are kind of at the money year, right? This is it for him. This is the money year for him. And you look at the entirety of the contract. So did the Packers lose the trade or did they walk away losers? Because you did lose Tay when he was still performing at a super high level. And would he have been a help to Jordan Love? Yeah, I think so. There's no denying that. I don't think you could sit here and say he wouldn't have helped Davante. Wouldn't have helped Jordan Love. He certainly would have. Yeah, he would have. To have a guy like that plus the young receivers, I think you would have taken that all the time. I think Goody just looked at it from obviously the draft pick standpoint, the age standpoint, and the financial standpoint. He put it all together, and he went with with what he did, and you look at it hindsight now, and maybe it doesn't look as good, so to speak. But again, I still look at it from, I think Watson's a really good player. It's just unfortunate we haven't seen his true potential because of some unfortunate injuries. And now this knee injury, we'll see how he bounces back from it. And with Quay, I've said it, and I even said it during the year. The guy has all the physical abilities. He has everything you look for in a middle linebacker, but it just doesn't show itself all the time. And that's I just want to see the consistency. And if you see the consistency this full year, then maybe this thing looks like, hey, this panned out really well then, right? And if Watson heals up good, and he comes back later in the year and he does put together a decent season and Green Bay's able to hold on to him. And I get it. And that's the way I'm looking at it too. I can't sugarcoat it and say, there's no other way to look at it. But when it happened, it's hard to wave goodbye to a receiver that's really, really good and still super productive. It wasn't like the guy was 34, couldn't run, wasn't demanding double teams anymore. That's the way I looked at it at the time. But I don't get paid to be a GM, and except first and second round picks and things like that. So I understand it from both sides, but we'll see if he comes back. We'll see. It'll be interesting.
My issue, Brian, is that if they extend him because they had the opportunity, they disagreed. There was the DeAndre Hopkins contract that complicated matters because that was viewed as an outlier what Arizona had done with his contract. But if you get a deal done with Davante Adams going into the 21 season, during which, by the way, he caught 123 passes, franchise record, for 1,556 yards, franchise record, while not having the security of a long-term deal, and he is then on your team in 22, I think you probably make the playoffs. I still think you make the playoffs in 22 if Rodgers doesn't break his thumb in London. You're not. I don't think you win the Super Bowl, but with Davante Adams, I don't know. I don't know what happens. But what my biggest issue is that having him still on the team doesn't preclude you from drafting Tay Wicks in the 5th round in 2023, or even Jaden Reed in the 2nd round in 2023, because we know what Ted did with wide receivers. We know that he drafted guys even when he had a bunch of guys and still used 2nd round picks to do it, and that is Goody's biggest mentor. So maybe you still have Jaden Reed on your team, and now with the benefit of being around Davante Adams, he is more ready to be a number one a year from now, or maybe even this year, and there's that transition that occurs, and you still have Davante on your team. Now, I grant you, I'm getting this from the YouTube roundtable, I always want to keep my guys, right? You knew that they weren't going to bring you back. You got the Tom Mulhern Award your last year here because we all knew they weren't going to bring you back, even though we all wanted you back, right? I mean, that's the truth. And I am more guilty more often than not of, and I've said this a million times on this show, if I was the GM, our team would be old and we'd have a bunch of injuries and we'd go 4-13 because all the guys that I like were still good players if they were healthy, but age is undefeated. So I understand that my bias factors in here. But Davante is different, and that's the point you just made so well. He was 29, and the general manager said that they did analytic studies on guys that are Hall of Fame caliber and said they were still productive into their 30s. He was calling Davante Adams a Hall of Fame caliber player and then traded him anyway. And to me, that is why, at best, this will turn out to have been a push trade. I don't think, and if that means they both lost to a degree, which I think Tausch has come around to, I would agree with him. Especially if Quay Walker doesn't get significantly better.
Correct. I mean, and that what you said about, well, I think people would say, well, then you don't, like you kind of mentioned, well, then you don't draft the wide receivers that we did and all that. That doesn't mean that you wouldn't have drafted those guys. It certainly doesn't mean it because you mentioned it. They brought in Tay and they brought in Jordy and they brought in Cobb when they had, stacked rooms as it was. So, like, they certainly didn't mind bringing in super talented wide receivers with rooms that were already very talented, right? Like, there was something about Green Bay and always refreshing the ranks and bringing in talented receivers year after year to keep that room super competitive, super hungry, and just very balanced. And that's what they did. So, like, there's no saying that just because they kept Tay wouldn't mean they wouldn't continue to draft and bring in young, good receivers. They would. Because, listen, I mean, there's a reason why Jordy, I'm not saying Jordy was who he was because who he learned from, but he certainly learned things from guys that were older than him. Cobby the same way. Tay the same way. They learned things and picked things up from the guys that were in front of them, and they learned what they learned, picking it up from Aaron, what Aaron liked to do with those receivers. They pick that up and then they do it their way. And all these things kind of, they fit together. And that's what these guys, the younger guys, would have learned from Tay and Aaron and all those guys. But, again, that's me playing Captain Hindsight, I guess. But it is what it is, right? It is what it is.
Well, like you said, I think there's value in that. You certainly learned from the guy in front of you, and Mark Tauscher, too, in addition to Chad Clifton. All right, we got more time with Brian Bulaga. We'll spend more time with him next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
NBA All-Star Weekend. From the NBA Rising Stars on Friday night to State Farm All-Star Saturday night to the 74th NBA All-Star Game on Sunday night. This weekend on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. Presented by Indeed.
Your first time driving a stick shift. The car, sporty. Your teacher, nervous. You've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with Online Activation Zone, so you can easily shift your direct deposits from your old clunker of a bank to Associated Bank in just a few clicks. You've got this with Activation Zone from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute brought to you by your Badgerland Chevy dealers, proud supporters of Badger Athletics. Go to BadgerlandChevy.com. A storybook ending for Super Bond. Zach Bond capping off his incredible season with the Philadelphia Eagles. The former Badger with an interception on the game's biggest stage off Patrick Mahomes. Winning a ring, not his only flex this season either. First team All-Pro honors, a Defensive Player of the Year finalist, and named a Pro Bowler to go with it. The Pro Bowl incentive adding an extra $500,000 to the pockets. Congrats to the Deer Creek native and Badger legend.
Get Pella windows as low as $22 per month and doors as low as $89 per month. Visit Pella at the Neary Spring Home Improvement Show February 14th through the 16th.
Mark Tauscher here to tell you a little bit more about Everlight Solar. We all know that electricity costs are on the rise. That's why you need to talk to my friends over at Everlight Solar. Their local team here in Madison is here to keep it simple. From your no-cost consultation to solar panel installation, the team at Everlight Solar will be with you every step of the way. Not only will they help you save money, but by switching to solar, you're also helping save the planet. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Check them out at everlightsolar.com.
As a bull rider, I prefer to do things single-handedly. That's why I love the UW Credit Union app. Doggy! It lets me check accounts, make transfers and more on the go. And if I need an extra hand, UW Credit Union has convenient local branches. Yippee! So, if you want simple mobile banking, mosey on over to UW Credit Union. They're here for every y'all. Federally insured by NCUA.
The GRB Rays have established themselves as one of the top baseball programs in the Midwest and the country. GRB Academy offers training programs for players of all ages and skill levels. Learn from some of the best baseball coaches in the area and find the program that fits your training goals and your schedule. Spots are filling up fast, so visit grbacademy.com to sign up now. That's grbacademy.com. GRB Academy, baseball for the serious player.
Steinhaffel's President's Day sale is happening now. Find great deals on amazing bonus buys throughout the entire store. Then take an extra $100 off every $17.99 you spend. Plus, get a $100 MasterCard for every $17.99 you spend. See store for details. Or make your new room more affordable with Steinhaffel's 36-month 0% financing. Get in today because these deals won't last long. Shop in-store or online at steinhaffels.com.
If you're looking for a special piece of jewelry for any occasion, Condon Jewelers is always there for you. Condon Jewelers has the best selection of jewelry you'll ever find and guaranteed to have the lowest prices in the Madison area. Free shipping is always available. Visit condonjeweler.com or call 241-3406 and ask for Jim, the owner, who's at the store every day. Shop locally. Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side.
Wilde and Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar.
I've got some famous friends you probably never heard of, but back in Rutherford County, our crowd is second to none. You might not know them here in this big city we're in, but when I go back home, I've got some famous friends. Yeah, I do.
Continuing with our famous friend Brian Bulaga, whose brand of hoodie I've already forgotten what it was called, so that's not going to help with that endorsement opportunity. You can send it to me later. Brian, I unveiled a 5-point list after the Super Bowl of things that the Packers could take from the Eagles' victory, and it was roundly poo-pooed with the exception of maybe one of my points.
I believe what Tausch said was...
It was not roundly poo-pooed. One of them, and you know what, Blue, let's play a little game. Jason will go through the list, and I complimented him on actually doing some stuff and really pushing the initiative on the show. It was great. I said, this was great. There was one of these 5 that I basically was like, no blank blank. And I'm going to be curious if you feel the same way or if you think every one of these was a super profound point. So, Jason, with that, the floor is yours.
Number 1, create a 4-man pass rush so you don't have to blitz like the Eagles didn't have to blitz all game long. Can't remember exactly how I phrased that, but and by the way,
you threw your list away, didn't you?
No, it's upstairs.
Hey, you need to get one of these boogie boards. Write it down so you can remember that stuff. Come on.
You mean one of these?
Got you good.
Whatever. Well, just do it. Yeah.
Mine says, "Hola, brother," from Sid, apparently. So Sid apparently found this at some point. All right. 2, solidify your offensive line to improve your pass protection. 3, much like Devondre Campbell and Rasul Douglas and Zach Bond, find an inexpensive free agent who can have an impact. Number 4, your quarterback needs to be able to run the football, both on designed runs and scrambles. And number 5, as you saw on the dagger touchdown pass, run some real play action, because it works. That was my list of 5.
Yeah, I mean, it's to me, it's a pretty good list. I mean, I think if I had to take a guess, I know which one Tausch is talking about. I think it's the inexpensive free agent that can make an impact. I mean, I think that would be the goal of just about every GM would be to find a Bond, right? Like find a guy like that can come in. You don't really expect him to be that type of guy, and he ends up being an all-pro, or like a Van Ginkel, right? Like you bring in a guy
Another
like that.
Good one.
He bounced around all over the place. You bring him
I feel
in,
like
and
I've heard this
ends up
feedback
being
before.
super productive. It's hard to find those guys. It's difficult. It has to be a good scheme fit, good team fit. But they're out there. You just have to kind of do your due diligence, and it's a little bit of a risk because they're not going to take league minimum. They're going to take a little bit more than league minimum, but you got to take that risk on them. And sometimes the payoff's really good. So, yeah, that would be great. And you know what? Like, that may be the path that Goody may have to go down a little bit, because also with that, it kind of would fill my, I don't know, not my, like, not, it wouldn't make me happy, but it would make me feel a little bit better that you're bringing in some type of veteran-ish players, right? Not guys that are in their 30s, late 30s, but guys that are going into their second year contracts, or guys like that have been around for 4 or 5 years that are now, trying to find their way, that have been through different things in the league, that are hungry, that want it, that are looking for that opportunity. Sign those guys for a year, see what they got, or guys that maybe were injured or didn't fit somewhere, see what they have and bring them in and let those guys, get their opportunity and see. And they've been around the league for a little bit. They've been in different places. Maybe they've been on winning teams. Maybe they've been on bad teams. Who knows, right? But they can bring something different to the culture if they're a good fit. And that would be good, because you don't know which way Goody's thinking with this, right? Is he thinking high-priced free agents? Is he thinking guys like that? You just don't know at this point until we start to get into the fun part of the offseason.
And I acknowledge that that's hard to do, but he did it with Devondre Campbell. He did it with Rasul Douglas. He did not do it with Ricky Wagner. Ricky Wagner was not good enough after he moved on from Brian Bulaga. Jared Veld here, he did almost play for 2 different teams in the playoffs, which would have been amazing. But the bottom line is, you're right, it doesn't always work out. But you know who else was a cheap signing that didn't cost them much of anything? Keyshawn Nixon, who turned out to be a 2-time first-team All-Pro return man, and now thinks he's going to be CB1.
Yeah.
And he's a great recruiter.
Yeah.
So
like it can happen, right? It can happen. Like, and
Goody's done it.
Yeah, and like the thing was, Rasul was one of them. Is a great example of it, right? Like I think in recent, if people want to go back and really think about it recently, I think Rasul was a great example. He was bouncing around from practice squads, wasn't he? Like I think that was the great story about it. He was bouncing around from practice squads. They sign him, bring him in. Guy starts making plays, becomes a full-time starter. Comes time to pay him, obviously it's not going to happen. They move on, but it is what it is, right? Like you can find these guys, you just kind of have to sometimes take the chance on it, and that's the way it goes. Now is Philly going to pay Bond because they got him, they got the DN that they got to pay. I mean, they got a lot of guys that now are looking for that payday. It'll be interesting to see who becomes available, right? There may be some guys that become available from Philly that enticing. So we'll see what happens when free agency opens up.
So, Blue, do they need to go and make the big splash? Is this team good enough? Because there was a really good question on KBN the other day to me. How many players, and I thought defense, but just let's go all in on all positions. How many spots would a Green Bay starter start for that Philadelphia Eagles team? How many places would you say this guy would be a starter on that championship team?
Offensively, I'm just running through it in my head, right? Like I'm just going through it in my head.
It's pretty.
Zach, Tom, and Elton.
I don't know. I think I would start.
Elton would. Zach Tom's not taking Lane Johnson's spot.
Yeah, I don't think. But and then Elton would start somewhere. I think Elton would start at right guard. I don't think Elton's kicking Dickerson out of left guard. Dickerson's really, really good. I think Elton would start at right guard.
Maybe you would put Tucker Kraft. I'd start Tucker Kraft ahead of Goddard.
Over
but that's
Goddard
not easy.
Yeah, that's not an easy. That's not an easy decision. That's. I mean, but then you're looking everywhere else, and it's kind of like, well. I mean, listen, Saquon's amazing. I think Jacobs is amazing, but like, do you swap out Saquon for Jacobs? I think the answer is no.
You're playing Saquon.
Yeah. So like it's just like it's just the way it goes. And listen, as much as I like Jordan Love, I love Jordan Love. You know what I mean? I think he's a good quarterback, but like Jalen Hurts did what he did in the Super Bowl. He played great. So like, do you in that game, right? The game we just watched, the Super Bowl. Everyone watched it. We all saw them play. Do you pull Jalen Hurts and insert Jordan Love? And like that's the question, right? And exactly, like in that game, I wouldn't have done that because what Philly needed or what that team needed was Jalen Hurts. They needed that guy to move, to run, to do exactly what he did, and that's the difference between Jalen Hurts and Jordan Love, right? Like I don't think Jalen Hurts completed 19 passes. I think he was like 17 or whatever it was, 18 passes. Like that's what the team needed, and that's what he does. But he also was the team leading rusher. So like, which no one would have guessed. Now defensively,
McKinney. McKinney starts for Philly.
Yeah, I think McKinney for sure. After that,
Rashawn Gary.
Rashawn maybe over one of their DNs, maybe.
Milton Williams or Nolan well, they run a 3-4, right? Technically. So he'd be Josh Sweat.
I mean Sweat is the one that just should have won the MVP. So it's kind of I don't know. I don't know if you.
So Blue, I guess why I asked this.
Right.
Why I asked this question, because it makes you think. And we all knew Philadelphia's roster was better. Not once. I didn't trust their coach quarterback as much. Shame on me. I was wrong. They did it. Kudos to them. But I guess the question is, Green Bay's not just picking up a Zach Bond away. I don't think it's the big gulf. And by the way, every team is different. You just mentioned the free agents. Philly's not going to keep this team together just like Green Bay. Green Bay will look a lot more like Green Bay than Philly will because Green Bay doesn't have a ton of unrestricted free agents. But does Green Bay need to make the big splash, the big move to upgrade their roster? Because is it going to be just get better from within? Because is that going to be good enough to put them in the position the Philadelphia Eagles were?
I don't think listen, I don't think you need to make one huge splash. I don't think that's going to get it done. One huge splash won't get it done. I think you need to make multiple moves. And what those look like, I'm not sure. But one big one won't get it done. Because if you do one big, say, we'll just, because everyone wants to talk about it. Say you do the one big one with Myles Garrett. That won't solve all your issues on offense either. Like, that's not going to take care of the offensive line depth. That's not going to, solve everything over there, right? That may not solve your wide receiver issues or that's not going to take care of everything, right? And that's also not going to solve maybe your cornerback issues. Yeah, he may get to the passer faster, and that may help your cornerbacks, but he's not going to do that 60 times a game. So, it's just, and he's not playing 95% of the snaps either. So, you have to look at this thing as a whole, and how many gaps can you fill with the cap space you have and the flexibility you have right now as a GM? And I think it's more because right now, if you try to, strengthen from within and take that approach, and can we improve what we have in the offseason and not really go into the market and just go with the draft, where are we looking to strengthen from within would be my question, right? They'd be all right, so where are we looking to promote from within, to strengthen from within? Who's going to be those guys would be my question, right? Who are going to be the guys that emerge from where we have right now on the team that's going to insert and play and be an upgrade from what we saw this year? And I don't know who that is, right? I don't know the guys that were on the practice squad. I don't know the guys that were second and third string and on the depth chart. I don't know that, but I can imagine that if they were that good, we would have saw them. And that's just the nature of the NFL, right? If they were that good, they would have been promoted and been playing.
It has to be the D linemen, right? I mean, you have to look at the Carl Brookses and the Enikbares. That's where Lucas Van Ness, those guys are the ones that you would expect. And I talked yesterday a little bit about, you would have hoped to have seen more of that in year two, because year one is a whirlwind. You don't have time to even think. You're done, and then all of a sudden you take a beat, you get a meal, and then you're like, it's February, March, and you're like, all right, my second year, now I can actually train. I know what the hell I'm doing. I know what it looks like to be a pro. I get in my rhythm, and I'm going to take a big jump. How many years? At some point, you are who you are as a player, whether that's year 4 or 5. You're always going to seek to get better, but that big jump typically comes in year 1 to year 2, not year 4 to year 5 or year 5 to year 6. At that point, you are who you are as a pro. Where that jump is going to come from, it has to be the D-line and the wideouts, and I can understand why there's skepticism that maybe we're worried, well, why didn't we see that big jump in Romeo Doubs and in all the wideouts and in the Carl Brookses and everybody else on the D-line?
Yeah, I mean, you're right. At some point, you are who you are, and yeah, you're going to be always striving to improve small parts of your game, but you're not going to make a massive leap from year 4 to 5 or 5 to 6. Your big leaps, I feel like, are going to be from year 1 to year 3. I feel like that's when you're going to make your big strides as a pro. I felt like for me personally, year 1 to year 3 is where I made my big jump. I felt my biggest jump was from year 1 to year 2, just from exactly what you said, comfort level of the position I was playing, but just from the offense, my routine, being a pro and understanding the game better. And then year 3, it just felt like, okay, it's just a better feeling overall. I'm more settled, with everything that was going on, just from life in general, right? Because second year, you're still kind of trying to figure some things out, but from a football perspective, you feel better. Once you get into year 4 and 5, it's like you got to have these things figured out at some point, right? You had 3 years to get this dialed in. If you don't have it in by 4 and 5, then I don't know when you're going to get it figured out. And the NFL waits for nobody. It doesn't wait for anybody. I mean, and that's kind of, I think for some of these guys, for first round picks, as we all know, whether people like it or not, they get a little more time just because the organization has invested a first round pick in them. They'll get that 4 years because the team is invested in them. But for some of these guys, 3 years is going to be it. And if it doesn't turn out, they're probably going to move on. And that's the way it goes. So for some of these guys, this is going to be the year to show it. They gotta show that they've made this jump, that they're ready to show that they deserve not only another contract, but that they've improved dramatically as a player, and they're ready to be a key guy on this roster. And we'll see if that's the case. And I think you said it. D-line, receiver are the groups that people are really looking at. And whether or not you add a key piece to those rooms remains to be seen, right? And obviously the receiving group will probably tell you we don't want anyone. The D-line group will probably tell you we don't want anyone. That's probably what they're going to say. I get it, but as I was always told, and a lot of guys were always told, this thing's a production-based business. Like, that's what this thing is. So, like, if the production's there, no one new gets brought in. You don't get, but if it's not, someone always gets brought in, and that's the way this thing goes. And it's not a feelings business; it's a production business. So, like, that's the only way I can put it. Because I can assure you, they're not bringing in a new running back. A running back is not being brought in because the production was there, and they're not bringing in a new safety because the production was there. So, like, that's the way it goes. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what else to say. Like, it's just, that's the NFL, and it waits for nobody, and that's the truth of it.
Standards over feelings. Sounds to me like what they really need are a couple of inexpensive impact free agents to really augment the roster. Brian, you are always an impact free agent for us. I don't know if you're an inexpensive one or not. That's not my department. We appreciate you, buddy. Thanks.
All right, guys. Take care.
That is the outstanding Brian Bulaga. He joins us every Wednesday. I join him and Steve the Homer True every Thursday.
That we only have one player that would have started in the Super Bowl? Is that possible?
I think Elton Jenkins starts over Mekhi Becton. I think he's right about that. And I think Xavier McKinney starts over Reed Blankenship.
But my point is he has to move positions in order to start.
Well, the Packers are going to move him to a different position this year too, so, right?
If we specify it, you at your position are going to get a chance to start in the Super Bowl. Philadelphia can pick you up and put you in. You're telling me there's only one Blanken guy? Is that right?
Sounds like something we need to explore further, and we'll do that at the top of the 10 o'clock hour, which will begin at 10:20. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Mark Tauscher here, and Cupid called. He wants you to try Pizza Hut's heart-shaped pizzas. Perfect for date nights, Valentine's gatherings, or treating yourself because, hey, you deserve it. Starting at just $13.99, these heart-shaped pizzas are here to steal hearts and fill stomachs. But hurry up, they're only around for a limited time. Head to your nearest Pizza Hut or order online today at pizzahut.com. Pizza Hut doesn't break hearts, they bake them. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Hi, this is former Badger Pro Football Hall of Famer Joe Thomas. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN WTLX Monona, Madison. Good Karma Brands radio station.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good morning, Madison, and streamers everywhere. I'm Jesse Nelson. Sports Center brought to you by Goodman's Jewelers, the diamond store of Madison for generations. Check them out, 220 State Street, and online at goodmansjewelers.com. Final game before the All-Star break tonight for the Milwaukee Bucks as they visit the Minnesota Timberwolves. Fun matchup tonight. Damian Lillard, Anthony Edwards. Going to be a good one. Bucks-Timberwolves pregame coverage starts at 6:30. Tip at 7 right here on Madison's home of the Bucks, 100.5 ESPN. Bucks head coach Doc Rivers said after Monday night's loss to the Golden State Warriors, the team is definitely struggling having enough energy heading into the All-Star break.
I thought we were playing on tired legs. You could see that. Hopefully we can muster up enough energy and rest and play this last game before we get our real rest.
Bucks listed as 6.5-point underdogs for tonight's contest, according to ESPN Bet. Meanwhile, NFL, the offseason is officially here. Check out, after the Philadelphia Eagles were crowned over the weekend, where the 4 Packers Super Bowl champions rank in the NFL power rankings of all Super Bowl champions all time. That's a fun concept. Check it out over at ESPNWisconsin.com. Wilde and Tausch continues right now.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch. Thanks again to Brian Bulaga. Joins
Is this right?
Uh-oh.
Indiana beat Michigan State in hoops. Is that accurate?
That
or
did
is this
happen.
Fake news.
That did happen, yeah.
How?
Upsets happen, old T. Michigan State. Indiana's not having a good year. They're going to fire their coach likely at the end of it if he even makes it that long.
No, he's gone. He's Dunzo.
No, he is still there.
Bring out Dunzo.
He was coaching last
Dunzo
night.
after the season.
Signature win last night. Could turn
I
the thing around.
legit was just scrolling through the old Twitscreen, and ESPN on Twitter, it says Indiana stuns number 11 Michigan State in East Lansing. And again, I'm a Wisconsin Badger fan.
I've heard that.
Went to the game. Indiana stunk. Wisconsin dominated them. And you, like you said, their coach is gone. And I honestly was like, is this like the Onion? And I know upsets happen, Jesse, but Indiana stinks.
You could have watched that game on Peacock last night, Tausch. It was nationally televised. Could have seen the big upset.
Way too many games. It's not nationally televised if it's Peacock. Let's call it what it is. It's not.
Wait, Marquette was on Peacock, too.
They were, yeah.
I watched
Marquette's a Peacock operation now, too?
Peacock got some
DePaul.
I thought they were FS1. I thought that was an FS1 operation.
Well, I mean.
And Fox, big Fox.
And CBS Sports Network, which also had a fun game last night, UConn and Creighton. Peacock has gotten in the...
Yeah.
All right. Well, you're not excited about Peacock, but you should be excited that you have the best law firm on your side if you ever need them, and that, of course, is Grubel Offices. One call, that's all. Hopefully you never have to make the call. That means you've never been injured in an accident, but if you have been, there's only one call to make, and that's to David and his team at Grubel Offices. One call, that's all. 414-276-6666, 414-276-6666. Grubel Offices, one call, that's all. I want to spend a better chunk of time on Tausch's question, not about Indiana beating Michigan State or Marquette beating DePaul. Although Homer was on the call of that game, and he's going to come up a little bit later.
Tom Crean was on the call on Peacock.
I know he was, exactly. But I do want to I don't know, what do I take from the idea that only one Packers starter could have started on the Eagles? If that's what we're saying. If we're not allowed to move Elton Jenkins, then Xavier McKinney is the only one. What does that tell us?
It's so crazy.
Not only about their roster, but about the way we evaluated the Packers roster. And what are we guilty of the crowning
Might be some
that
hard truths for Old T. Old T's having hard truth week. It's a hard truth week for Old T.
Well,
Ned, I know Nedster. You're going to want to hear this because I think I maybe have to acknowledge some of Nedster who's been pushing on me for 2 years. Maybe Nedster might be right.
Greg in the ESPN Milwaukee YouTube roundtable, the Westminster Dog Show was on FS1 last night. So that's what you would have gotten. Had you tuned in for college basketball, you would have gotten the Dog Show.
Roundtable's not catching on.
You're not. You just don't want it to catch on. Let's be honest. Dweller. More next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Mark Tauscher here, introducing Pizza Hut's new Ultimate Hut Bundle. Get any 2 medium pizzas, 8 boneless wings, and your pick of breadsticks, cheese sticks, or cinnamon sticks with the perfect dip for only $24.99. You want even more? Upgrade to large pizzas or double your wings for just $5 each. Get the ultimate feast for the ultimate value because this deal is too delicious to miss. Hurry in or order online today at PizzaHut.com. The Ultimate Hut Bundle. Only at Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
This is our crew.
Fly ball right field. Hit a ton. We're tied.
Milwaukee Brewers baseball is coming to ESPN Madison.
The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out.
Every pitch, every dramatic moment, every
fly ball left field. Back. Still back. It is up and gone.
Madison's new home of the Milwaukee Brewers. 100.5 ESPN.
Dane County's largest selection of the all-new 2025 Equinox has arrived at Zimbrick Chevrolet. Lease the 25 Chevy Equinox LT for just $299 per month. New colors, more storage, and all new tech. 36-month, 30,000-mile lease. Must qualify for lease loyalty or conquest rebate. $19.95 due at signing plus taxes and fees. To approved credit through GM Financial. No security deposit. Visit Zimbrick Chevrolet Sun Prairie and ZimbrickChevrolet.com. Offer ends March 3rd.
Come see Pella at the Neary Spring Home Improvement Show February 14th through the 16th. Learn about our incredible design team with an ability to customize windows to match your unique home. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin is now offering windows as low as $22 per month and doors as low as $89 per month. Rest easy with our 10-year installation warranty. Book your in-home consultation at the show and receive a complimentary DesignWorks consultation and a Pella Care inspection. Visit PellaWI.com. Certain restrictions apply.
American Family Insurance is a lot like Captain America. He protects the world.
It's just doing my job.
And we help protect your dreams with amazing auto and home coverage. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com. And see Marvel Studios' Captain America: Brave New World.
Suit up. We need to move.
In theaters February 14th. This film is not yet rated.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Listen up, guys. If you haven't been giving your significant other chocolates from Gail Ambrosius Chocolatier, then you've been doing it all wrong. Your wife or girlfriend will love the handcrafted, unique chocolates created right here in Madison. Stop by their store on Atwood and enjoy the ultimate chocolate experience today. Once you taste the difference that locally owned and made chocolate provides, you'll never go back to buying a mass-produced box of chocolate ever again. Show her you care by getting a box of chocolate from Gail Ambrosius Chocolatier on Atwood.
Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side. When you see Diamond Jim, you can count on him to be on your side. Selection beyond compare with on-site repair, so you can wear your jewelry with pride. Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side.
Hey, it's Bobby Portis, and I love playing basketball in Milwaukee. When I drive down the lane, I move fast and make sudden moves to drive to the hoop and score. But when I'm behind the wheel in the driving lane, I control my drive. I don't speed or make sudden movements. Speeding and reckless driving are the leading causes of traffic injuries and deaths in Wisconsin. Do what I do. Control your drive. Don't speed. Don't be reckless. Zero in Wisconsin. Together we can save lives. Wisconsin DOT.
College basketball Saturday. It's an SEC showdown in College Station. The Arkansas Razorbacks go head-to-head with 8th-ranked Texas A&M. Coverage begins Saturday morning at 11:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN. Presented by Robin Hood.
Ready to roll, ready or not, ready to give it all I got. Gotta live to win, get up.
Hard Truth Week on Wilde and Tausch continues. I don't know if it's as popular as Shark Week, but Tausch, what are you thinking now about the Packers roster when we put it in the perspective of the Eagles roster? What are you thinking of your view of the Packers roster as a result of that?
I think I've overestimated it. I still don't. So I'm trying to think. There's somebody on the Cowboys. I don't think it was Dak, but talking about how close they are with Philly and, all this other stuff. And again, every season restarts. Philly's roster now won't be Philly's roster in September.
Right.
But I do think it's interesting to take a look at it. And I have looked at Green Bay's roster and thought it is really good. I think our offensive line is good. Obviously, Josh Jacobs is good. Tucker's good. I think the receiving core, I've been very blunt. It did not take the steps that I thought and was not good enough this year. I still believe in Jordan Love, but I'm not putting him ahead of the Super Bowl MVP. I think you look at the NFC, I still think he is a quarterback that's going to get a lot better and was hurt this year. I'm fine. I feel good about Jordan Love. But when I look at the roster as a whole, I think we've looked at it and thought they're really good. Mm-hmm. And you have to measure yourself up against the best. You can't measure yourself up, and no offense to the Bears or New Orleans, but it is possible. Detroit's roster is better than the Green Bay Packers roster. It is. Minnesota, receiving core is a TKO, but I think you could look at other spots, and I think you'd feel like you're in a good spot. You can compete, and you can beat those guys. I don't want to get all skittish here and think, oh, the world is falling. That's not the case.
Yeah, you don't want to overreact.
But I'm not overreacting. But I also don't want to sit here and just because, I think this draft pick is great, and this guy's really, this and this. Because we cover the team, and we talk about them 300 or whatever, how many days, 280 days a year, you look at it and you maybe start getting to the point where it's, am I over-inflating what we see? Because we see it, we read the stories, and we all are pumped up. I mean, at least I am, about this team winning. And then you do a quick test of where they match up with the world champions, and they fall short.
Mm-hmm.
They fall short in, it looks as if, 21 of 22 spots. And I don't want to put the Josh Jacobs one. It is what it is.
Right.
Saquon Barkley is almost the MVP.
Right.
So that one I think is, really tough to say, but it is the reality. And now you just wonder, what do you do about it? Is this roster good enough to win a championship? This year it was not. You're going to have to bring in some reinforcements. And we have to get better in certain spots. We all know that. But now I am wondering, are we good enough in other spots to be able to beat the big boys in this league as we sit here? And that is what's made me ponder, is this question that, I don't know, Brusty and those guys asked. And I don't know how you can look at it and say, well, yeah, even with the close game that we played for 3.5 quarters against Philly, their roster's better than ours. And other teams have better rosters than what we have. And I think I probably have to come to grips, even though I still think with the circumstances the Gutenator was in, he put this team in great position, especially in the Rodgers era. And last year, what they did, they didn't take the next step. Doesn't mean they can't, but they didn't. And then now you have to wonder, because as Blue said, it's a different year, and it is a production, not feelings business. And the production at certain spots was not good enough, and that makes me feel like I maybe got to reevaluate where we're at.
The league comes at you fast. We had a great little quick trip story this week. Sydney in her science class needed chips because they were going to burn them, if I understood that correctly. Didn't have any chips in the house. There's a quick trip. Yeah, it's some sort of different chemical reactions. They were doing a bunch of different foods. It was,
what? You guys teaching arson?
She had to have protective goggles.
Arson crafts, am I right?
Arson 101. Arson Wentz.
Okay, we're there's Arson Wentz. Oh my God.
Arson Palmer.
Arson Wentz
City
was better. Never mind.
Burning
Just tell
chips.
everybody.
It
was
like wood chips to like roast marshmallows,
like
or to
potato chips.
Make a salmon.
No, to like potato chips. And so luckily there is a quick trip right
Tausch
near
could
her
have
school.
Sarah help with that. Am I right?
Wow. Whoa.
I'm out.
True. Inappropriate, probably, but true. Life's busy, and Quick Trip gets it. Whether you're trying to burn chips for some crazy science project, which I is not described very well, but if you're craving a fresh coffee, a tasty bakery treat,
almost as if I didn't get the chance to finish.
We let you try. You weren't going anywhere.
Arson
right now,
Wentz.
check out Quick Trip's corn dogs. A nice, supple, juicy hot dog, coated in crispy, golden, delicious cornmeal batter. Can always grab ready-to-go pizzas as well. Thin crust, crispy crust, savory sauce and piled high with a blend of cheeses. But wait, there's more, because of course there's always more. Get a refreshing Quickery Parfait. $1.99. Make dinner ideas a breeze with Dos Rios taco meat filling packs, or get a pothole pizza. Wait, this can't be right. Pothole pizzas are $7.99. Ooh, baby. Mozzie sticks, cheese curds, mini tacos, cheese stuffed spuds, just $2.99. And it's a cold, snowy day. How about soup? Warm up with a soup bag. That's on special for $6.99 on Tuesdays. And I can't get through talking about Quick Trip. You guys called me chicken yesterday. I don't take that as a thing. Chicken. Roll Hosted Chickens, $6.99 on Mondays, and today $9.99 for wings and tenders. Can do it all. You can order ahead. You can get it curbside. Whatever your heart desires with that great Quick Rewards app. Quick Trip. We'll see you next time.
I just want to clarify. Did
you burn like sour cream and onion?
Don't try to act interested now. Was supple?
I was interested. I just wanted to tell you guys to do it.
Was supple the way that Quick Trip described their corn dogs, or was that an ad lib?
No, that was an ad lib.
Okay,
ad lib.
Good corn dog though.
Steve the Homer True, who is also supple, joins us next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
Every event tells a story, from the first impression to the final moments. Have someone guide your guests through every chapter the way you want the story told. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With a strong presence, great voices, and an award-winning team, trust us to guide, direct, and inform your guests through all the different chapters of the day. For fun, memorable entertainment for any event, please visit us at celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
Your Honda gets you everywhere. When it needs service, you need Zimbrick Honda service. Their customer service is second to none, and you can experience it for yourself at 2 convenient Madison service locations on Fish Hatchery Road and Grand Canyon Drive. From simple maintenance to expert repairs, Honda certified technicians handle it all. Need new tires? For a limited time at Zimbrick Honda, you can buy 3 tires and get the 4th for only $1. Part of the Madison community since 1973. Shop local. Shop Zimbrick Honda.
Your warehouse concrete floors see a lot of traffic. Uneven, sinking, or cracked concrete can pose a serious threat to any business operation. From trip hazards to cracked foundations, sinking concrete can keep any business owner up at night. Concrete Lifting Technologies is here to help. Concrete Lifting Technologies can even out that concrete floor to prevent these hazards. They can level your warehouse floor within a few hours and don't even need to shut down your operations. Visit itaintmudjack.com to get a free quote today. That's itaintmudjack.com.
Mark Tosher here. It's now Valentine's Day approaching, and I don't have to sweat it this time around. I've gone to see the team at Chalmers Jewelers, and it has made my gift giving that much better. They travel all over the world to find the best ethically sourced diamonds available and hire the best custom jewelers around. Valentine's Day gifts, engagement rings, custom jewelry, watches, and accessories. Chalmers Jewelers, where custom costs less.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison.
Get the beat of the Bucks straight from a fan favorite and Bucks legend.
Welcome to the fantastic voyage. Marcus Johnson, the captain of this vessel.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson, a Bucks Plus audio production.
My first mate, Chris Johnson, the only father and son tandem.
Your weekly pulse on the Milwaukee Bucks and conversations with the biggest names in basketball. This week on the pod, it's all about the NBA trade deadline with Marcus and Chris. Find Here District now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, or wherever you get your podcast.
James Imaging Systems, a 100% locally owned and managed Wisconsin business technology company. 20-year James client Daniel Bertelson, CEO at RE/MAX Preferred.
Reliability and consistency are the key to any successful business, and for our networking and digital solutions, they've been that right along with us for all these years.
Local reliability and consistency has also had a positive impact for Baker Manufacturing. Purchasing Manager Jennifer Wilger.
It helps keep us efficient and productive, and we can keep our minds on what's really important, and that's taking care of our customers.
And Josh Gabel, Service Manager with Kirsch Appliance, also depends on the reliability and consistency of local service from James Imaging Systems.
Yeah, you get somebody that knows what they're doing, come in here and get it done in 5 minutes, and we're not having to take our time to do it.
Go with local. Go with James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner. Call 608-221-3457 or visit jamesimaging.com.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer. Our policy is to provide equal opportunity employment, development, and advancement to all current and potential teammates. If you are an organization that maintains a job bank, provides employment information, or gives job referrals, you may request to be placed on the station's mailing list for future career opportunities. To learn more about careers at Good Karma Brands, please email careers@goodkarmabrands.com.
Welcome to the 2025 NFL Draft on ESPN Radio.
The NFL Draft is now underway.
Live from historic Lambeau Field in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
With the first pick.
Thursday, April 24th on ESPN Radio, ESPN, and on ABC.
Whatever you do, make sure you do it right. Whatever you do, make sure you do it right. You're making love or starting the schoolyard fight. Make sure you do it right. Make sure you do it right. Whatever you do, make sure you do it right.
It is not a decoy. He is the star of this portion of the program. It is Steve the Homer True on Wilde and Tausch. Steven, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing great in the snow in Milwaukee. I am currently driving the first four-wheel drive I've ever driven. Man, I don't know how you don't. This is so great. It's amazing how much better it is in snow. But anyway.
Well, be careful out there on the roads. We want you to be safe and
Not
sound.
in a four-wheel drive. I could spin right now if I wanted to. I might have to pick it up. I'm only doing 20, 25. I should get to 40. Four-wheel drive. Man, it's amazing how much different it is. When you stop, wow. Anyway, I also wish to thank the individual on Monday. I was waiting for a flight at the airport, and I fell asleep. And this guy randomly came up to me and said, hey. I go, what? He goes, I was afraid you were going to sleep through everybody getting on the plane, and I would have. I would have missed the plane. I would have missed the flight. And I'm just a random guy, didn't know the guy comes up, and I, without a doubt, because I was tired, I would have. How do you explain that? Yeah, I was waiting for the flight, and then I just fell asleep, and then they left, and I woke up, and they were gone. But didn't happen, so. I was trying to think of what would be as nice as that. But anyway.
I don't think you would have been the first person to have that happen to them, though.
Probably not. It was the first time it ever happened to me, but I would guess you're right.
Is this one of the perils of getting as old as you are? You just fall asleep randomly and we should be concerned?
Yep. You never know when you're going to pee, and you never know when you're going to fall asleep. Yep. All of which are now available 24/7, and it sucks. But so be it.
Homer, nice win for Marquette last night. Did you catch up with your buddy Tom Crean before we talk Packers?
No, we did not. He did not go out of his way to get in touch with me. I will state that I will forever be grateful for him and any human, whoever is the coach of a player like Dwayne Wade, that I get to do the games just because of him. So I will always be grateful to Tom Crean for bringing in Dwayne Wade, because it was the best 2 years of my experience as the voice of Marquette basketball. And there have been other good players, but every game, George Thompson, at the time, the greatest player ever at Marquette, would say, I wonder what he's going to do tonight. There's nothing better than that.
What's your deal with Tom Crean? You guys don't get along or what?
We had our differences, yes. Yep.
How so? What were your differences?
I do not wish to talk about it in public at all.
Why? You're supposed to be an open book. That's your deal. You've been on air 50 years. Your life is your fans' life. What?
Because if he was the devil, and I'm not saying he was, I still will appreciate him forever because he brought in Dwayne Wade. So whatever I say is meaningless because it was all worth it because he brought in Dwayne Wade.
Would you say, of all the Marquette coaches, he's the one that you got along with least?
Yes, without a doubt. Not even close.
What do you think that stemmed from?
This is good. Trying to get me to talk about it. Well, the first time he called me in, I thought he was going to fire me. And they played about, I don't know how many games Dwayne Wade's first year playing. And I told my wife, well, if Tom Crean calls me in, I'm fired. I did something to irritate him. So be it. So I get in, and I sit down, and he comes into his office, and he goes, Homer, you just got to stop. You just got to quit it. This is out of control. You cannot do this anymore. And he must have gone on for 2 minutes. And I didn't say anything, and I had no idea what he's talking about. I said, okay, what do I have to stop? He said, all you do on your show is talk about how great Dwayne Wade is. He already has enough pressure. People have high expectations. You got to stop. You just can't do it. And I said, okay, I'm not going to stop. He's the greatest college player I've ever seen, and it's not even close. And he goes, oh, looked at his watch. I got to go. That was it. And I told everybody every game
it's an interesting little nugget.
They had to go see him because he was that entertaining.
And you were right. And you didn't really add that much pressure on him. Or if you did, he certainly handled it extremely well. So 1 point for you. Tausch, did you have any other questions about the Homer-Tom Crean relationship before we segue into something else?
Homer will ask players and other people all kinds of tough questions, and I'd appreciate Homer at least answering one about a relationship that he had. So, Homer, I appreciate that, and now we'll move off. I know you get uncomfortable when we talk Marquette, even though we do it, and we do it well when we do it. I'm ready to move off of it because I know you're uncomfortable.
Homer, do you want Davante Adams on the Green Bay Packers, yes or no?
Yes, based on the assumption that he's a free agent. And it's very important to make that differentiation with the other players that would involve a trade. The chances of the Packers doing anything of a significant player is 98%. Are they a free agent or is it a trade? If it's a trade, forget it. And if it's a free agent, certainly possible.
And also a free agent who was released by his team, so he does not factor into the compensatory pick equation, which is also what Davante would be a free agent who was released by his previous team.
I think they would accept the compensatory, but I don't know because it's never happened before, has it? But I think that in this case with Davante, they would be willing to do that. But you're right. In his case, it will not factor, right? Because he's going to be released.
Right. If he's released, it doesn't matter at all, so it doesn't hurt them in that equation. I've gotten a little bit of blowback from some people in the YouTube roundtable dwelling region who are arguing that he's washed, and I just don't. That's preposterous.
Right. He's not as good as he once was, maybe, but he's still very good. Not that I would know.
As good as he once was, as he ever was.
That's I mean, but I would say he's at, I don't know, 85%, the ability and to know the Packers, and that there's a benefit there. It's not like we both thought about you bring Jordy Nelson back because whatever he is, he can do 100 times better with Aaron Rodgers. I don't know that applies. It doesn't apply to the same degree, but I think that there's a part of Davante Adams that would like to play with Jordan Love because privately I think he would admit that he underestimated the ability of Love.
I think he's admitted that publicly, actually.
Oh, has he? Okay.
Yeah.
But then the question is, what's the real reason that he didn't come back to Green Bay or made it difficult? And is it fair to say it was because he didn't have the faith in Jordan Love?
I think that was part of it, and I think part of it was that he was pissed off that they didn't sign him to an extension and made him play that final year of his contract. And then he went out and set franchise records for both yards and receptions while not having the security of a long-term deal and taking that risk of getting hurt. I think that really pissed him off.
If he had believed in Love, do you think he would have stayed with Green Bay, or do you think his irritation was such that was the bigger issue?
Well, he would have had one more year with Rodgers at least, and then part of the narrative was the question of how long Rodgers was going to play, and the fact that Rodgers couldn't guarantee him more than one more year in Green Bay led to the portion of the decision that pertained to Love. So it's all kind of jumbled up together, but I can assure you he did not intend to leave until they chose to lowball him, in his estimation, during the summer of 2021. That really, really pissed him off.
Yeah, understandably so. I'll never understand that. Explain that to me.
Yeah, I can't, because how many elite level wide receivers change teams when they still are very much in their prime, which he was. He went to Las Vegas and was again a first-team All-Pro wide receiver for the third straight year.
Again, how could he have missed that badly? He clearly couldn't have thought that Adams was that good, right? I mean, there's no other explanation, is there? Because he certainly wasn't a problem.
Yeah, I think to Tausch's point from earlier, because Goody does not always speak.
Yeah, I don't care what he
fully
says.
Honestly. Well, no,
right,
but it matters because he described him as a Hall of Fame caliber player for whom you would be willing to pay big money, even though he was going to be 30 years old. And he's also, unlike some of the other guys, like David Bakhtiari, for example, who obviously had the knee injury, the third contract guys that Goody has seen get those deals, or he has paid those deals to, have disappointed, and Davante Adams would not have fit that bill based on his 2022 season, and he's been extremely durable.
And he certainly would have understood how Davante felt about a contract or whatever. I don't get it. I mean, I'm never going to get it.
Yeah.
Right? Because it really wasn't that hard a decision. It was an easy one. Not only for Aaron Rodgers, but because of Rodgers. But as you stated, if you're Goody, you want to have Davante Adams there if Rodgers leaves, right?
Again, I think this would be only my opinion, but I think Goody was of the belief that with the way wide receivers were being pumped out of college football, you can get guys that will just replace somebody of that caliber. And to this juncture, after the 2022 and 2023 draft classes, in which he selected 3 wide receivers in each, the evidence thus far would tell us that those guys are not going to mature into number 1 level receivers as quickly as you need them to if you're going to move on from someone of a talent of Davante Adams.
Right.
That's what I would say.
This would emphasize what I would say, that when he said Hall of Fame, that was clearly a lie. There is no way he believes and could have come up with any evidence that you let a Hall of Fame wire. It was crap. If you're mad about other things he said, I don't know that there's anything he said that would irritate me more than that. You're going to let a guy go. You're not so stupid to let a Hall of Famer go. I don't care if you call him the greatest wide receiver ever. That doesn't mean anything. Your actions tell me you did not believe he was a Hall of Fame receiver. He can't be that stupid, right?
Well, all I would say is that trust people's actions, not what they say, especially in the NFL.
It's fair to say his actions are such that if he had believed he was Hall of Fame, there's no way he would have let him go, given not only that ability, but his quarterback situation. You'd have a chance to have a Hall of Famer with Rodgers, and if Rodgers leaves, what better than to have Davante Adams for your new young guy who's been around to observe him? Tausch, come on, Tausch.
Yeah, we made a mistake. Homer, it's been a reflective day for me today.
Oh, okay.
we made a mistake.
Listen, Goody's good. He's just
Yeah,
not
he
good
is.
enough.
Yeah.
Now I know how teams felt in the NFC when they see the Packers and they go, damn Rodgers, damn Favre. Like, we're good, but it doesn't matter. And when you think of 2010, think of the players on that team and how good some of them were. The Packer players now are good. They're not like that. Who's Charles Woodson? Who's Collins? Who's Rodgers?
Well, Xavier McKinney is what's.
Yeah,
well
he's
documented.
Good. No, that's a great point. He's good, but not that good. Everyone you do is good, but not that good. And that means you're now looking at other teams in the NFC going, damn, Philly's good. They're what we were when we were good, and we're like, I don't know, whatever the other teams were, that you forget what it had to feel like for them going, damn, the Packers. We don't have those players like that, and now the Packers.
There's just,
are in the
Homer,
other situation.
there's not enough field tilters and those bullseye guys that I talk about. We don't have enough of those.
Do we have one?
Xavier McKinney, I think, is that guy. I think so, and I think Josh Jacobs is too. I think both of those guys. But outside of those two, I have a hard time coming up with a lot of other names that would be, all right, we have to stop Such. We have to make sure Such doesn't wreck the game. I think there's guys that have opportunities to grow into it, but how long are you going to let that beanstalk grow? At some point, you got to get up there and get moving. And right now, I think there's –
Yeah. But look what Philly did, not just getting the bar. Look at the draft that Philly had last year. They got two outstanding rookie quarterbacks, right? I mean, that helped change. I mean, not only we talk about players, but there are some GMs that are just better than Goody, even if Goody's good.
Yeah, Howie Roseman tipped the cap. Howie Roseman tipped the cap. He's He did it. Their roster is markedly better, and there's other teams that have that too.
They turned it in 1 year after they were a big disappointment, also because they changed coordinators. But whoever decided
that's part of the deal. You don't accept that. It's a fine line of allowing guys to grow and to saying this growth ain't happening fast enough. We're moving, and the league continues to push more towards we got to go. We got to go. And patience gets rewarded at some point, or it doesn't. We'll find out if that patience is going to get rewarded here in Green Bay, because for as much as we all want these big-name signings, this isn't going to be a markedly different roster. We hope there's a couple of changes, but of the 22 starters that were on this team at the end of the year, at most, 3 or 4 are going to be different, at most.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And you think the Packers, they made a great change in the defensive coordinator. Philly did it even
fantastic
better.
Change. Yeah, that's the hope.
Damn it.
That is the hope.
Stakes. But the all-wheel drive, yes. Sorry I never listened to anybody all those years in the past. I want to go out and drive in the snow. Come on, snow. You're going down. Homer in a four-wheel drive.
All right. I just, again, be careful.
Yeah. Bye. Thanks, Mom.
You're welcome. Four-wheel drive is not invincible. That is Steve the Homer True. You can hear him every weekday.
Hope he makes it in to do his show today.
Well, he's got 6 hours to get there. Take your time. No need to rush. You hear him every weekday from 5 until 6 on the Homer Hour. Last night it was with John Anderson, and I joined them. Tonight, he's on his own, and I'll join him at 5:15. And then tomorrow he's with Brian Bulaga. Fridays he's with Gary Ellerson, so be sure to tune in for that. I think he hit on something that's really, really interesting to me, and I want to explore it more with Tausch. I'll tell you what it is next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
The 74th NBA All-Star Game. It's an all-new format.
3 All-Star teams of 8 players each, along with the winner of the Rising Stars game.
Coverage begins Sunday at 7 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. Presented by Indeed.
Making the switch to solar energy is easy with Everlight Solar. Mark Tauscher here, and with vacations and big sporting events and other fun events coming up, we would all love to have a few extra bucks in our pocket. How would you like to start saving money while also helping save the planet? All you have to do make the switch to Everlight Solar. Our family is one of many who have made the switch to solar over the last several years. And also, like many others, we weren't exactly sure where to even start when we came to that conclusion. And that's when we met with the great team at Everlight Solar. They outlined the entire process and educated us on the benefits of making the switch. It was super simple. Join us in saving a ton of money and creating a greener environment for our family and the community by switching to solar. Learn more. Schedule a free consultation at everlightsolar.com. That's everlightsolar.com.
Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute is brought to you by Steinhoffels. Shop Steinhoffels now through President's Day and take an extra $100 off every $1,799 you spend. Only at Steinhoffels. See store for details. A storybook ending for Super Bond. Zach Bond capping off his incredible season with the Philadelphia Eagles. The former Badger with an interception on the game's biggest stage off Patrick Mahomes, winning a ring, not his only flex this season either. First team All-Pro honors, a Defensive Player of the Year finalist, and named a Pro Bowler to go with it. The Pro Bowl incentive adding an extra $500,000 to the pockets. Congrats to the Deer Creek native and Badger legend.
Get Pella windows as low as $22 per month and doors as low as $89 per month. Visit Pella at the Neary Spring Home Improvement Show February 14th through the 16th.
Join the Madison Money Guy, Christian Finfrock, for Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Get the information you need as you plan for retirement. That's Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Investment advisory services offer the Retirement Income Strategies, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
You're only minutes away from a better buying experience at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb. Jim Rutledge here. What is a better buying experience? Well, that's the thing. You get to define it. It is the experience that is customized to you. What experience do you want at a car dealership? They can be your trusted friend or your trusted expert. So if you're in the market for a new or new-to-you Silverado, Colorado, Blazer, Trailblazer, remember, you're only minutes away from a better buying experience. And that's at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb.
Ben Brust here to tell you about the Princeton Club. If you're looking for a place where you can better yourself while having a wonderful atmosphere, you have it at the Princeton Club. Strong communities, strong body, and strong mind. All it takes is one small step to start today. You will see that you have everything you need in order to achieve all of your goals. Find your better tomorrow at the Princeton Club. 8 Madison locations where you go in there, you take a tour, and you realize this is a place for me. Find more at PrincetonClub.net.
Outside In. That's what we call our Outdoor Living Unlimited showroom at 2018 South Stoughton Road. All the cool stuff you want outside in your yard displayed inside. Patios, decks, pavers, and an automated pergola, fire pit, outdoor kitchen, a putting green, and in-ground pool. Even a converting 3-season room that's either outside or inside. We are Outdoor Living Unlimited. Your outdoor living potential awaits you at our Outside In showroom, 2018 South Stoughton Road. OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
Dog, I can't remember a game that was this good.
Yeah, you know what else would be great right now? Some food from the Great Dane.
I know, but we can't go right now.
Good news! The Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company is available on DoorDash and Uber Eats. Stay in the game with the full menu delivered from the Great Dane closest to you. Downtown, Hilldale, Fitchburg, or East Madison. Order today with DoorDash and Uber Eats or on thegreatdanepub.com. Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company, Madison's original brew pub since 1994.
This is Madison's new home of Milwaukee Brewers baseball.
Churio, a high fly ball. Back, track, bye, baseball!
100.5 ESPN, your new home of the Milwaukee Brewers.
Thanks to Homer. As always. He's great. Although you guys were kind of on the same page, which doesn't happen in all of his visits. You guys kind of reached a pretty good accord there. And I thought his point about Goody being good, but not that good, and about this team being good, but not that good, in terms of as good as the Eagles, is a really interesting way to view them, because I don't want us, with our conversations that we've had since the Super Bowl and since the Packers were eliminated from the postseason, I don't think we should sound like we think these guys aren't any good or that they're, they made the playoffs as the 7th seed each of the last 2 years. They're, kind of posers. I don't think that. But if Goody is going to get up there and tell us in his final press conference of the 2024 season that this team needs to increase its sense of urgency, that this team is ready to compete for championships, then to Homer's point, being good is not enough by the general manager's own assessment, and that includes the general manager in how he augments his roster, along with the coach and how he improves his offense, and on the players and how they improve their games. I just think that's a really interesting prism to look through.
I have a really hard time kind of getting my head wrapped around all of this because I look at the Goody era as being really good. He went with a coach that got fired mid-season and a roster that was blech, losing to a bad Cardinal team on that. Again, I know it's snowing out, a snowy, cold day with Mason missing the field goal and Mike gets fired. He went and picked up 4 impact free agents that flipped the script and got us to an NFC championship game. Boom, boom, boom. Hired the coach. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
And positioned this team to be the number 1 seed twice. And he has not sat pat and just drafted. He's done what all Packer fans have wanted. Grabbed some players in free agency, and he hasn't picked up washed-up cats. He's picked up players that have been really good for those times. And he did it again last year on a team that was way ahead of their expectations. And then this last year is the first time that I kind of looked at it and thought, all right, maybe we're not there. Because it isn't the world is ended. Like, Green Bay's roster and team are good. But this is the first time that I could look at it and say, yeah, I mean, we were close. We had opportunities, but how close are we? Whereas in the past, you kind of felt like, yeah, we're there. We're right there. I still believe because of how the NFL is, and if you have your quarterback and you have talent, which they do, and the defense got better, I don't want it to sound as the same you just said, but you also – I can't continue to sit here and tell you, well, this team is world championship caliber when I felt like they had an opportunity this year. They didn't answer the bell, and that happens. This, again, I thought last year was an outlier. It was crazy how good and quickly things came together. This is more along the lines of what we thought the post-Rodgers era would look like, but we saw things speed up, and now we don't want to go backwards. We don't want to not see the climb continue. And I think this year it didn't. We just didn't see any elevation change. And that has to change if you're going to go chase the championship. And I think Goody will do that. But I think the fact you look at what this team that just won the championship looks like, and you fall short of that. And that's kind of an awakening, I think, for me, at least.
And here are 5 things they can do to be better like the Philadelphia Eagles, including finding inexpensive free agents. Hey, if you hit it big in Prize Picks, you got all kinds of extra money to spend on free agents. Unfortunately, although did you have a better night last night? I feel like that's also been, of late, it's been a bit of a struggle. That 0 for 6 performance was less than ideal.
Oh, I almost screwed that up. The big game. I pulled back. I didn't.
He was talking.
You were on the precipice.
He was talking about soup.
Yeah, but I didn't do.
You
know what? I'm going to move along. The soup at Quick Trip.
Yeah.
What a deal! Again, what a deal! Go! It's cold out. All-Star Weekend is almost here, and Prize Picks is the best place to win cash while you watch your favorite players. 10 million members, billions of dollars. Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to everybody, and it's simple to play. 2 or more players across any sport, more or less on their projection, and you could win up to 1,000 times your money. Play during All-Star Weekend, and don't miss your chance to cash in on special events like the 3-point contest. Join Prize Picks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app, and it's available to play in more than 40 states. Download the app today. Use code WI for the greatest state, and you get $50 instantly when you play $5. Again, that's code WI on Prize Picks for $50 instantly when you play $5. Win or lose, you're going to get $50 just for playing. Prize Picks.
Run!
Your
All-Star
game.
That's super. The 11 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch starts in 2 minutes, so stick around.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Mark Tauscher here to tell you a little bit more about Everlight Solar. We all know that electricity costs are on the rise. That's why you need to talk to my friends over at Everlight Solar. Their local team here in Madison is here to keep it simple. From your no-cost consultation to solar panel installation, the team at Everlight Solar will be with you every step of the way. Not only will they help you save money, but by switching to solar, you're also helping save the planet. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Check them out at everlightsolar.com.
This is former Wisconsin linebacker Chris Orr. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN, WTLX, Monona, Madison, a Good Karma Brands radio station on Wisconsin.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good morning, Madison and streamers everywhere. I'm Jesse Nelson. Sports Center brought to you by Milwaukee Brewers Baseball on ESPN Madison. Listen to every game this season, starting with opening day, March 27th, right here on Madison's new home of Milwaukee Brewers Baseball, 100.5 ESPN. No snow day for the Milwaukee Bucks tonight. Final game before the All-Star break, visiting the Minnesota Timberwolves. Anthony Edwards going to be on full display. No Giannis, he's still out with a left calf strain. Damian Lillard also questionable for tonight's game. Tip time at 7 o'clock. Pre-game coverage starts at 6:30 here on Madison's home of the Bucks, 100.5 ESPN. Head coach Doc Rivers knows the team's been lax a little bit heading into the break.
I thought we were playing on tired legs. You could see that. Hopefully we can muster up enough energy and rest and play this last game before we get our real rest.
The Bucks listed as 6.5-point underdogs for tonight's contest, according to ESPN Bet. NFL, the offseason in full swing. Bryan Bulaga joined Wilde and Tausch a little over an hour ago. If you missed any of the conversation, find it available on Wisconsin On Demand, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. Over at ESPNWisconsin.com. Check out where the Packers Super Bowl champions rang amongst all the Super Bowl winners.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
Tausch begins now. Coming up next, for those of you on the panel who may have doubted my ability to remember certain tasks that I agreed to do, we will have Wilde and Tausch Trivia, Wisconsin Geography Wednesday, questions that were emailed to Jesse last night, not forgotten, as some may have questioned.
I would. Kudos to you if that's accurate, Goody.
I'm not. Why would I lie?
I don't know.
Why would I lie?
Well, to make yourself look better would be the answer.
But I don't need to lie. I know the truth.
I am...
You're checking the timestamp right now, aren't you?
I am able to share that Jason sent over Wisconsin geography trivia questions at 6:11 p.m. Central Time last night.
Wow.
Which begs the question, when
Kudos
do you eat
to
dinner?
you.
Isn't that like dinner time for most standard?
Not in our house where we had gymnastics practices and volleyball practices and Maddie running, getting ready for track season after school. It was a busy afternoon and evening. But I did send the questions before I finished my Davante Adams reunited like Peaches and Herb story for ESPN.
Reunited
And it feels so good. I was singing that when you came back from California after you spent 3 months there in wine country. So, Jesse, this Davante Adams, which, by the way, there is a story at Madison.com. I know the State Journal's having some print issues, so I don't know when it will run in print, but it is up on the website currently, talking about this possible reunion. A source close to Adams saying that he is open to the idea. I am curious if it actually comes to fruition, but at least it is on his radar, and I can confirm that. So,
interesting.
What has the reaction been on the carbless talk and text line? Less is more.
Got a long one here. This is a long
one.
It's
like one of my questions.
I know. And it's from a 608 first text.
Put your name on it!
First text ever. We're nice to the first-time texters, but do remember, if you are texting us, give us your name and where you're texting from so we can give you a proper courtesy when you have a good question like this.
Courtesy. Yep. Mm-hmm.
You guys are underselling the Packers. While we are lacking some alphas, we have a lot of talent and do a lot of things very well. I'd argue we have a better tight end tandem. Our number 3 and number 4 wide receivers are better. This is compared to Philadelphia, this texter's saying. Our wide receivers run block better than most. I'll take the Walker and Cooper tandem over Bond and Burks, even as good as Bond is.
Yeah, but Nakobe Dean was the starter, and he got hurt against the Packers. He's a really good player, but continue.
The Packers roster isn't that far off. Yes, the Eagles just had a dominant performance, but we are only an alpha or 2 away, in my opinion, from the 608.
I defer to the
line.
alpha on the panel to respond.
I don't disagree that a couple of players can make a huge difference. Like Zach Bond made a huge difference for Green Bay. And if Goody is listening and he takes Wilde's idea of going and getting Zach Bond for $2.5 million, we are going to win a world championship next year. That's great.
Do you agree on the tight end one there?
Done.
Do you think they have a better tight end tandem?
I don't know who Philly's backup is. I love Tucker Kraft, and I would take him in the long haul over Dallas Goedert.
Agreed.
I think I'd probably want Kraft to start now ahead of Goddard. He would be one of those guys. You can't definitively, so that's why I'm sticking with the 21 to 22. But, yeah, I love Tucker Kraft. I think he is one of the guys you're going to see centerpieced when this offense, whatever revamping they're going to do, he's going to be a centerpiece guy.
What do you think happens with the Luke Musgrave career arc? Like he was generating the buzz of all buzzes during training camp 2023, early in the season of 2023. Remember, Tucker Kraft barely played during the first half of his rookie season out of South Dakota State University.
It's been a minute. Hang on.
Great places, South Dakota.
And then I feel like he's kind of the forgotten man now. He had the ankle injury. He missed a bunch of time. But even in training camp when he was healthy, it was Tucker, and not a lot of talk about Luke Musgrave, which was the exact opposite of the previous summer. Where do you think his career arc goes?
I mean, I hope he looks at this. This is obviously a huge off season for him. We saw early on the excitement and what he can do stretching the field. But when you're looking at what Green Bay is doing, running the football and with the wide receivers, and now if you pick up a Davante or a 1, I don't know if you're going to see a ton of 2 tight sets. And even when they did, and Musgrave got back, it didn't seem like he was the guy that you wanted to put in there and seal the backside. Tucker Kraft has surpassed him. Tucker Kraft is the future at tight end. Now, does that mean Musgrave has no future in Green Bay? No, he can find a role. But the idea of him being TE1, not going to happen. He could, and what I think he should look at is kind of that chewy Keith Jackson role, right, where you can build. But I think it's pretty set now. Tucker Kraft's going to get an extension. He's going to be here long term. Musgrave needs to have a good year so that other teams want and view him as a potential one. Stay healthy and then just continue to work. But as we sit here now, I don't know that his future in Green Bay is all that strong.
Yeah, I don't know either way, though. Like, I wouldn't say that it's over for him either. I wouldn't say that at all. But you're right. Another guy who's in a pivotal offseason and season number 3. But again, most of that class is, right? I mean, with the number of drops that Jayden Reed and Dontavion Wicks had during the course of their second seasons, we're looking at them with a more critical eye than we were after their rookie seasons when we were high 100%. On both of them.
Yep.
So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
How
Jesse,
would you rank who you're highest on? Top 3 pass catchers for the G&G. Jesse, I don't know if you got any music queued up. I know you didn't have the South Dakota music queued up, but if you have any music, Tucker Kraft's going to be everybody's one. Tucker Kraft will be everybody's one, right? Oh, there it is.
Very creative. Number 3, Jayden Reed. Number 2, Dontavion Wicks. Number 1, Tucker Kraft.
What is making you put Tay Wicks?
What? Stubbornness.
Other than blind loyalty.
I still think he's the most. The fact first of all, he ended up second on the team in drops because he fixed the problem during the second half of the season. But the fact that
who was first?
Jayden Reed with 10.
Mm-hmm. Ooh.
The fact that, again, according to Pro Football Focus, we always deliver our little caveat, but according to their analytics, no one in the league got open as effectively as he did. Now, once he was open, he didn't always catch the football. But
other than that, how was the play, Mrs. Lincoln? I mean,
that isn't important. Great. I understand. But if we're talking about growth not being linear, and the fact that in the second half he took a problem and fixed it. I think he maybe had one drop in the last 8 games.
I got a problem. Now let's solve it.
God, I can't wait till headlines go back to songs, because Ice Ice Baby would be a good one for one of the late season games.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what you got cooking. That'll be good.
Well, tell your brothers to reach out to me so they can do all the work and I could just do the singing. So that's why I put him at number 2. But Tucker Kraft, I don't know how you can argue anyone other than Tucker Kraft at this point, based on what he did in the second half of his rookie season and everything that he did in his second season. Because for all these other guys that were in year 2 going into year 3 or year 1 going into year 2 on that offense, the only one that you can honestly say made a big leap forward is Tucker Kraft.
Yeah, I agree. I would only put one. I don't feel great about. I think Jayden Reed has the potential.
I do too.
But he did not bounce back after that disappointing middle stretch of the season when we were all asking, what the heck? Oh, we're going to find ways to get him the ball. And when you do all that and you still don't see any incremental bump, that's a very big red flag. I like Jayden Reed.
Me too.
I think he is going to be a really good 1B, 2A type. I don't know if he's going to be that guy. I don't know. And Romeo, production-wise, when he was there, still pretty good, but I'm going to have a hard time trusting Romeo. Like a really hard time. And I'm guessing the Green Bay Packers are too.
Have another text here from Don in Mayville on the Carbliss ESPN Wisconsin talking text line. I think you're going to like this one.
Jesse, very concerned about the clock and about how much time we'll have left for W-Nelli. I like the unselfishness here.
The Packers have players you use to build around others with, but they don't have any of the players you build around. Don in Mayville says that. What do you think?
It's a really interesting text. Jason, what do you
think?
Name
on it. I think that
chicken.
No, this has nothing to do with Luke Fickle. I think it's a really good observation. Like
you guys put me in a real pickle because I don't ask questions, and Jason thinks I don't ask questions.
No.
I'm
fine. This time I'm fine.
Fickle pickle.
I personally felt like you were put in a spot that I would not have put you in yesterday. But the fact that you responded by just shouting my name was a little unexpected. Jason?
I don't know who's taking this shot, but it is not me.
I think this is a really good observation from Don in Mayville. Thanks for putting your name on your texts. Again, we're not scolding you. We just like the fact that we can say who you are when you text us. I think we have to hold off on saying that they don't have any build-around players. I think right now they have guys that have not achieved hey, this is a guy you build around on offense. Josh Jacobs you build around for sure, but where are all the pass catchers? Again,
do you build around Jordan Love?
I don't think that he's at – I was the one fighting back from the we're crowning him too early crowd, and I know I took some criticism for that. I'm not taking a victory lap now. I still think he could be a top 5 quarterback. I am not writing him off. But I do think I think he is facing a colossal year 3 as a starter year. He has got to make a much bigger jump. Now, if he stays healthy, does that give him a better chance? Obviously, absolutely. And he was not healthy for most of the year. So I do give him some grace on that. But he did not. I would think that he would tell you if he was on the program today that I didn't make as big of a jump as I wanted to. Not as big of a jump as Jason wanted me to or the fan base wanted me to or Matt LaFleur wanted me to. I know I didn't make as big of a jump as I thought I could have made either. I think that's the way I view him. All right, we need to play trivia with these trivia questions that I worked so hard on last night, and then I have to come up with 9 more.
Good work. I'm impressed. I did not think this would be the case. I didn't.
What? I'm a man of my word. Did I say I would be at the Pickler? Actually, I said I would be at the Pickler, and then we showed up anyway. I would
So you're a liar.
just say this. I'm a liar. Yes, I'm dishonest and not a very good pickle player at this point. Jesse, it is Wisconsin Geography Wednesday. I sent you this at 6:11 p.m. 6 + 1 + 1 is 8. We'll take caller 8 for Wilde and Tausch trivia. Caller 8, 844-770-3776, 844-770-3776. Caller number 8 plays trivia. I am very much looking forward to having the questions critiqued by my colleagues, and I know they will be. Next, it's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Mark Tauscher here, and you know I've loved Pizza Hut going back to the days when I was a kid participating in their legendary Book It program. It was the best, and it still is. But speaking of love, I got a call from our guy Cupid, and he wants you to try Pizza Hut's heart-shaped pizzas. Perfect for date nights, Galentine's gatherings, or treating yourself because you deserve it. Starting at just $13.99, these heart-shaped pizzas are here to steal hearts and fill stomachs. But you have to hurry. They're only around for a limited time. Head to your nearest Pizza Hut or order online today at pizzahut.com. Pizza Hut doesn't break hearts, they bake them. Heart-shaped pizzas available for a limited time at Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
The area's best high school sports coverage is Zimbrick Honda's presentation of Prep Mania.
Tuesday Night Hoops on Zimbrick Honda's Prep Mania is where you can find the area's best high school basketball games all season long. Hi, it's Jesse Nelson. Catch star recruits, rivalries, and state championship contenders every Tuesday night. It's Tuesday Night Hoops on Zimbrick Honda's Prep Mania.
Zimbrick Honda's Prep Mania on 100.5 ESPN and streaming live on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
As you're putting your spring calendar together, we'd love to have you join us Saturday, May 17th for Mark Osiki's 7th Annual Casting for Kids Fishing Tournament to support the American Family Children's Hospital UW Carbone Cancer Center. We're on the Madison Chain of Lakes at 8 a.m., then back at the Alliant Energy Center at 2 p.m. for happy hour, dinner, and live and silent auctions, plus a chance to win an Alumacraft fishing boat. To sign up and get more info, go to castingforkids.org. Casting, the number 4kids.org.
Since 1956, Holman Lindsay Paints has been making paint in Wisconsin for Wisconsin. Because of their commitment to making great paint for Wisconsinites, Holman Lindsay has grown over the years to 26 locations in this great state. Headquarters in Sun Prairie with a state-of-the-art facility, Holman Lindsay has the paint you need to make your job better. From do-it-yourself to professional, Holman Lindsay has paint for everyone. Visit one of their local locations today in Madison, Sun Prairie, Middleton, and Janesville.
At UW Credit Union, our home loans have everything you need for your next big step, including up to $750 off closing costs for all home buyers. And first-time buyers can save even more. So if you're ready to trade roomies for more room, or your townhome for an out-of-town home, UW Credit Union will be with you from start to furnished. UW Credit Union. Apply online today. Equal housing lender. Credit may be limited as required by program. Visit uwcu.org for details.
Listen to Madison Money Guy every Saturday morning at 7 a.m. on 100.5 ESPN and ESPNWisconsin.com.
I like to refer to inflation as the silent killer. It's an invisible risk. It's just the idea that things get more expensive over time. You're going to need milk and eggs when you're in your early 60s and when you're in your early 80s. You're going to get a loaf of bread, and it's going to be more expensive 20 years from now.
Christian Finfrock is the Madison Money Guy. Call him today at 208-1800.
Steinhaffel's President's Day sale is happening now. Find great deals on amazing bonus buys throughout the entire store. Then take an extra $100 off every $17.99 you spend. Plus, get a $100 MasterCard for every $17.99 you spend. See store for details. Or make your new room more affordable with Steinhaffel's 36-month 0% financing. Get in today because these deals won't last long. Shop in-store or online at steinhaffels.com.
Hey, it's Riley Yauk. Stay in the know on area high school sports and follow ESPN Madison on Twitter for Prep Mania on Deck, each week's preview for the top games and events. Prep Mania on Deck is brought to you by Zimbrick Honda, a proud supporter of high school sports and local communities.
Wilde and Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar.
'Cause I'm a hazard to my
All right, time for trivia. Let us welcome in our contestants. By the way, I would like to publicly apologize to Up North Joe if he felt like I took his job this week. If he would like to collaborate on the triple Wisconsin geography trivia next Wednesday, I would like to be very clear. I can do all 9 questions myself, but I want us to feel a sense of community in the trivia realm.
I mean,
so if he'd like to contribute, I'd love for him to do that.
If we're going to keep doing triple trivia and trying things out, I think we can do one week where we have 9 different people each write one question, and we could have some
Would that
fun.
involve you getting the super squad together each write one?
The ESPN Madison Super Squad, since we're rebranding like the
Welcome
YouTube
to
dwellers.
the Hall of Justice at the Spark Building.
Meanwhile, in the control room.
That's pretty good. That was very good. All right, let's play
Thank you.
trivia. Let's welcome in our contestant. It is Adam in Madison. Adam, good morning. How are you today?
Good morning. I'm good. How are you guys?
Good. I hope you enjoy this trivia. I look forward to you Goldilocks-ing it and telling me if it was too easy, too hard, or just right. Question number 1 is this. According to the book, The History of Wood County, this Wisconsin village was established in 1872 by John Connor and his brother Robert Connor and was named for the color of the Connor children's hair. Is it Auburndale, Brownsville, or Blue Mounds?
go Auburndale.
Auburndale is correct. The hometown of one Jordan Zimmerman. Oh, and Tausch, too.
So, wait a minute.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Let me reveal this.
A+ for your first question.
Let me reveal this curtain for a second and go behind it.
Yeah.
You sometimes will change the final answer that I provide.
Yeah,
if you think
Greenville
it's
not as
good
funny
enough.
as Blue Mounds.
But you wrote this question and then changed your own third answer on yourself.
I don't know if you know this, Jesse, but there's an editorial process for us writers. I'll write something and I don't really like it, so I change it up a little bit. So Blue Mounds, what's funnier, Blue Mounds for color of hair or Greenville, when I already have a Brownsville? I should have stuck with Blue Mounds.
Blue Mounds was better.
You did really good.
It was a good
you
upgrade.
crushed the first question. Don't let Jesse. You crushed the first question. It was great.
All right, question 2, Adam. Well, you got the first one right, so question 2 is this. The nation's first kindergarten class was established in 1856. Its first students were local German-speaking youngsters. In what Wisconsin city was this class established?
Wow.
Was it New Berlin, Watertown, or Freistadt?
I thought it was Watertown.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
Because it's correct. 2 for 2. Well done. And finally, question number 3 and an opportunity for a clean sweep. Door County contains 5 state parks and more than 250 miles of shoreline along Lake Michigan. Which of these is not the name of a state park in Door County? Is it Big Bay, Whitefish Dunes, or Potawatomi?
So I grew up in very near Door County. I think it's Big Bay. Is not.
Tausch, do you want to guess?
I would agree.
I love it when we win on Wilde and Tausch. All 3 correct. Now, for your assessment, you did get all 3 right, so don't let that color your judgment on whether the trivia questions were good or not. Adam, were they too easy? I'm going to say not too hard because you got them all right. Or were they just the right balance?
I think they're good. The first one, I guessed. I mean, Watertown, I think, is something people know around here. And then the last one, I got lucky. I grew up there.
Yeah. Well done. You got all 3 right. That means you've got 4 entries into Friday's drawing. And good luck in the drawing. And thanks for playing. We appreciate your loyalty to the show, buddy. Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
That is Wisconsin Geography Wednesday Trivia. Not done last minute.
Well done.
Sent in at 6:11.
It was good.
Yeah, it was well done.
Above average.
That was better than that. It was better than that.
It wasn't the best trivia we've ever had.
You learned a little something. It was a little bit of fun. It was a really good set. It was a really good set.
It may have been good, but when it comes to greats and when it comes to beer, we know there's only one, and that is Coors Light.
And Blue Mountains, which was part of the trivia, which, again, you're helping your partners. That's what this is about. This is what it's about, Jesse. Coors Light, brewed with a 3-step cold process, cold lager, cold filtered, and it's cold packaged, so it's made to chill. Born in the Rocky Mountains of Colorado in 1978, Coors Light is refreshing, it is crisp, and it's only 102 calories. That's why it is Coors Light in my hand when I need a moment to chill. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
He did say Blue Mounds, not Blue Mountains.
Yeah, but it was close.
It was
I
close.
thought mountains. I'm sure I wasn't the only person.
Yeah. It's well done. It's a good edit, some might say. W-Nelli is next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
Mark Tauscher here for Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie, the name you can trust. Well, the all-new 2025 Equinox has arrived at Zimbrick Chevrolet. New colors, more storage, wider stance, and all-new tech, including a larger infotainment screen. Plus, Dane County's largest selection is at Zimbrick Chevrolet. That huge selection plus volume pricing means you never overpay at Zimbrick Chevrolet. Visit Zimbrick Chevrolet on Main Street in Sun Prairie to see all of their current specials. You can also log on to see it all at ZimbrickChevrolet.com, or you can also schedule a service appointment with their outstanding team. Zimbrick Chevrolet on Main Street in Sun Prairie, the name you can trust.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
Warren Moon literally comes up to me, and he moons me while I'm on with Wilde and Tausch.
I'm sorry, what?
He mooned me while I was doing a Zoom with Wilde and Tausch.
Hold on. Bare butt?
No. He had suit pants on, but I mean, he came over and he mooned me. It happened.
Unsportsmanlike. Weekdays from 5 to 9 on 100.5 ESPN.
Happy New Year and happy new engagement. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. You have heard me talk about corporate, fundraising, and even casino events, but we are also amazing wedding DJs. Never cheesy and always the perfect fit for the perfect couple. Please let us help you narrate your wedding day love story while playing an amazing soundtrack that will rock your dance floor. Create lifelong memories of your one special day. Do it right and do it with celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
When it comes to security for your home and family, you want a winner, and we found one when we placed our trust with J&K Security Solutions. This is Greg Gard. Kim and Jeff hit the game-winning shot for us with the Control 4 home technology system. Home or away, from our smartphones, we can open the garage door, dim the lights, turn on the TV, as well as arm the security system. That's convenience as well as peace of mind. Let J&K Security Solutions do for your home or business like they've done for us. Call 255-5799 or online at jksecurity.com.
All day, every day, the Carbless Talk and Text line is open for you. 844-770-3776. The Carbless Talk and Text line. This is more.
Your current car, soon to be your old car. A new car, better start looking. But you've got this, just like Associated Bank's got you with free credit score and score monitoring on most new consumer checking accounts. Because when you know you need to make a big purchase, knowing your credit score puts you in the driver's seat. You've got this with free credit monitor from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
Come see Pella at the NARI Spring Home Improvement Show February 14th through the 16th. Learn about our incredible design team with an ability to customize windows to match your unique home. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin is now offering windows as low as $22 per month and doors as low as $89 per month. Rest easy with our 10-year installation warranty. Book your in-home consultation at the show and receive a complimentary DesignWorks consultation and a Pella Care inspection. Visit PellaWI.com. Certain restrictions apply.
Searching for the perfect brunch spot this weekend? Look no further than the Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company. Every Saturday and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., indulge in the Great Dane sweet and savory brunch menu paired with mimosas, Bloody Marys, or one of their signature beers on tap. Enjoy at any of their 4 Madison area pubs, downtown, Hilldale, Fitchburg, or East Madison. Learn more and view the full menu at greatdanepub.com/brunch. Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company, Madison's original brew pub since 1994.
On the air, on demand, on social, on Wisconsin Sports. Serving Wisconsin sports fans. This is 100.5 ESPN.
No time to waste. Got to get to W-Nelli.
If the topic is good, the guys discuss.
Just the other morning I had breakfast at Tracy Rocker's house. His mama brought out 15 flapjacks. He said, Mama, take back 5 of them flapjacks. I got to stay hungry for the Crimson Tide.
But if it's not, the show must go on. It's time for
W-Nelli
on Wilde and Tausch.
News broke near the end of our show yesterday. Kellen Moore hired as the new head coach of the New Orleans Saints. Former
told you that 2 weeks ago.
I think he mentioned it last week leading into the Super Bowl, but it is official now. He is the new head coach of the New Orleans Saints. Big deal, little deal, or no deal as it relates to the Green Bay Packers?
I think it's a deal. I don't think it's a big deal. Anytime you saw the impact that those coordinators had on Philly. Yes, they picked up Zach Bond, and they made some improvements. But
for next to nothing.
This team last year fell apart, and they fired both coordinators. And it worked. Doesn't mean it's always going to work, but it did this time. And when you take, just like you took Ben Johnson away from Detroit and Aaron Glenn, things change. Never going to be the same team. This offense got hot. They played a lot better after that first playoff game against the G&G. Their offense kind of took off. So I think when Kellen Moore, New Orleans is going to be irrelevant for a little bit. They got a lot of work to do. Anytime you take an offensive coordinator away and from a championship team, there's going to be some adjustments. So do I think that's going to rattle Philly to its core? No. But it definitely will make some changes, and it'll make them have to go through an adjusting period that, hopefully gives Green Bay a chance to kind of catch up a little bit as far as that roster goes.
Yeah, coordinators do matter. Just ask the Philadelphia Eagles of 2023 when Nick Sirianni went from having two coordinators that both got head coaching jobs after they went to the Super Bowl after the 22 season to having to fire his two coordinators who didn't measure up for the 2023 team, and now his two coordinators helped him win a Super Bowl in the 2024 season. So, yes, and by the way, Jeff Hafley made an awfully big difference, it would appear, for the Green Bay Packers, and we'll see if that occurs again in 2025. Whoa-Nelly.
Whoa-Nelly!
Oh, well, we were talking about Peacock earlier with the Michigan State-Indiana and the Marquette DePaul game last night. Tausch, you asked fans during the Super Bowl, do you think the big game will ever be exclusively on a streaming platform? What prompted you to ask that question, and do you believe it ever will be exclusively streaming?
What made me think about that is the way everything is going, right? It's every streaming platform has gotten bigger. The numbers from a standard TV station, they're not the same. So I wonder when it comes to these big networks, how much revenue comes in and how important the NFL is. When is that line going to tip? Because I think it's close. The CBA runs through 2030, so that's not going to happen. But I would bet in the next CBA, you're going to see one of the big platforms have exclusive rights to stream the Super Bowl. I know that sounds crazy, but a lot of things sound crazy if you look 15 years ago. I think by the middle to end of the next, what'll probably be another 10-year CBA, you're going to see a Super Bowl on one of the big boy platforms and not on linear TV. And that will expedite the movement to streaming only.
So ESPN has a Super Bowl coming up, right?
2 years, yep.
Will that also air, though, on ABC, just as
yes,
that is the expectation.
Monday Night Football does? So it's not like it's just going to be on a cable/streaming outlet, but ESPN will be launching a new streaming service, I believe, in conjunction with others at some point. So I'm curious about this. When Tausch sent this text message, I was watching the game on my television in my living room with Paula and the girls already having gone to bed after their early departure from Tampa. And I like watching in my living room with my cable because I'm an old man, but I also don't like it when my streaming services buffer, like I had last night with Peacock on my TV when I was watching Marquette DePaul. So I have a hard time believing that they will, in our lifetimes, abandon TV. My question for people who did not sit and watch like I did, I have NFL Plus. I believe that allows me to stream football games from my home market, but also from other markets. Was the Super Bowl on flatout NFL.com? Could you watch it streaming on the league's website? Because if you could, that's the reason why I don't think they would ever give it to Tausch's favorite Peacock or to Netflix or to any other exclusive streaming service. I think they want the biggest pie they can, including their own pie, and then that would also allow them to keep TV in the mix. W-Nelli.
W-Nelli! Last question. Are we getting smarter or softer when it comes to snow days? Yesterday, got home. We usually turn the TV on around when we're like getting ready to have dinner. We had the news on, and they already had all the school cancellations for today before there was a flake of snow on the ground. I don't remember that ever being the case when I was in school, and that wasn't that long ago. But is that the smart thing to get in front of it and just say, you know what, we're taking tomorrow even though it's going to start snowing around 10, 11 a.m.? Is that smart or soft, old T?
I mean, I'd love to sit here and tell you it's soft and that we walked up hills both ways and did all this stuff. And you want to be smart. You don't want – I think you can always look at things from your perspective, or you can look at things from everybody's perspective. And in this case, bus drivers, safety, you want to be smart and proactive, especially if you have not had a ton of snow days. And now the cold is one thing where I think you also have to look at it from who's got to wait out at bus stops for a long time, all of those things. So I think there is – both things can be true, but I think being smarter – work smarter, not harder. Be smarter when it comes to this. I think you're going to always, as Mike McCarthy would say, err on the high side of caution. I think that's going to always be the better side of it when you're looking at it.
Jesse, do you work smarter, not harder?
Always. Sometimes I just work
super
smarter.
Squad.
Yeah,
sometimes you don't work at all.
Me and the old squad, just like Iron Man, just delegate to everybody else.
We shall wrap things up for today. Next, it's Wilde and Tausch.
Watch every ESPN Madison show live every day. Subscribe to ESPN Madison on YouTube for live video of every show and exclusive content. Just search ESPN Madison.
All-Star Weekend is almost here, and Prize Picks is the best place to win cash while you watch your favorite players. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. The app is really simple to use. Pick 2 or more players across any sport, pick more or less on their projection, and you could win up to 1,000 times your money. Play during All-Star Weekend and don't miss your chance to cash in on special events like the 3-point contest. Join Prize Picks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app, available to play in more than 40-plus states, including California and Texas. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use code WI, and you get $50 instantly when you play $5. That's code WI on Prize Picks to get $50 instantly when you play $5. Win or lose, you'll get $50 for just playing, guaranteed. Prize Picks, run your game. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute brought to you by the Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company, Madison's home for craft beer and pub food since 1994. Find the Great Dane nearest you and check out the menu at greatdanepub.com. A storybook ending for Super Baun. Zach Baun capping off his incredible season with the Philadelphia Eagles. The former Badger with an interception on the game's biggest stage off Patrick Mahomes. Winning a ring, not his only flex this season either. First team All-Pro honors, a Defensive Player of the Year finalist, and named a Pro Bowler to go with it. The Pro Bowl incentive adding an extra $500,000 to the pockets. Congrats to the Deer Creek native and Badger legend.
Get Pella windows as low as $22 per month and doors as low as $89 per month. Visit Pella at the Neary Spring Home Improvement Show February 14th through the 16th.
American Family Insurance is a lot like Captain America. He protects the world, It's just doing my job.
And we help protect your dreams with amazing auto and home coverage. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com. And see Marvel Studios' Captain America: Brave New World.
Suit up. We need to move.
In theaters February 14th. This film is not yet rated.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
The pulse of the Milwaukee Bucks, straight from a Bucks legend.
Can't get it off. Marcus Johnson will, though. You can't leave him alone for a 12.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson on Bucks Plus. Marcus and his son Chris offer a weekly beat on Bucks basketball. Get your questions answered and hear from the biggest names in basketball. Find Here District with Marcus Johnson at bucks.com/plus on the Bucks app or wherever you get your podcasts.
The GRB Rays have established themselves as one of the top baseball programs in the Midwest and the country. GRB Academy offers training programs for players of all ages and skill levels. Learn from some of the best baseball coaches in the area and find the program that fits your training goals and your schedule. Spots are filling up fast, so visit grbacademy.com to sign up now. That's grbacademy.com. GRB Academy, baseball for the serious player.
The Great Dane Huddle with Barry Alvarez.
I'd love to be in a game like that. I'd love to coach a game like that.
Oh,
they may not see a pass in the second half.
Subscribe to the Great Dane Huddle podcast on Wisconsin On Demand and wherever you get your podcasts.
Jesse, what do you have planned for tomorrow?
Nothing.
Uh-oh.
What do you have planned for tomorrow, Tausch?
I didn't ask. Why is everything always turned around on me? When I want to talk, I'll talk. I don't know, Jesse.
Jason.
I'll plan on something. How's that?
All right. Well,
cough drops.
We'll have a show
What's your
tomorrow.
favorite cough drop? That'll be my thing.
Are you a little under the weather?
No, I feel fine.
Well, you're just eating cough drops?
A little under the weather there,
I
Jesse.
like cough drops. They're good.
Nice drop, Jesse. Wow. I didn't know we had that as a hot button. Hot key. All right, well, we have a show tomorrow. We have no idea what it'll be about, but we hope you'll tune in anyway.
Cough drops.
I did not see that.
Just reading a grocery list, coming up with show ideas.
What else you got? Salad.
Milk.
What you got on
my
the
boogie
list?
board.
Cough drops. Tomorrow's topic du jour. Have a great day. Take care. Be good.
Miss any of today's episode of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin? Commercial-free full show podcasts are available free on Wisconsin On Demand.
ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tauscher here for Kohler Services. Well, if you've been putting off your bath or shower remodel,